Ladies and gentlemen, players, umpires and supporters, welcome to the Queen Elizabeth Oval for tonight's historic Anzac Day clash between the South Bendigo and Eaglehawk football netball clubs. We begin tonight by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet, the Jar Jar Run people.
Welcome back to the Queen Elizabeth Oval, building up to South Bendigo and Eaglehawk in senior football and A-grade netball. Both teams at the moment are lined up on the Queen Elizabeth Oval in front of the historic grandstand. Eaglehawks footballers in senior and reserve grade and netballers as well. The umpires are out there and RSL representatives.
It is a chance for our entire community to pause, reflect and pay tribute to the service and sacrifice of all Australian and New Zealand servicemen and women, past and present. We honour those who made the ultimate sacrifice to protect our freedoms, including the freedom to gather, compete and connect through sport. We also acknowledge the many veterans and service members within our own club communities. I would like to welcome Glenn Ludeman, President of the Bendigo sub-branch of the RSL. Please join us as we observe the Anzac Day commemorative ceremony.
Firstly, I would like veterans, members of the ADF that are here and present with us today. Today is a special day. This day, 110 troops went ashore in Gallipoli as a teenage nation. For the next 4 years, 2,000 Australians. 20 years later, we lost 40,000 Australians. Jewel, we have lost 103,021 Australians. We honour their sacrifice and we work, live and play under the security that they've provided. Anzac is not 110 years old. It is today, it is tomorrow, and for the families affected, it doesn't go away. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them, lest we forget.
Those that are serving and their families, what they went through, that puts everything in perspective. Today's great in terms of footy and netball and all those things. I think it was Rick Townsend who, when they announced the launch of this game, he said it's more than just football and netball. You know, it's such an important day, and we talk about Anzac Day, it's Australia. We talk about mateship. You can't buy mateship, you earn it, and certainly those that were on the front, hold the line, whatever they had to do. And to those that have served, and those that are serving and their families, thank you for your service.
Yep.
That's all we can do is thank them, but never forget them either, what they did.
Yeah, beautifully said, Dolly. Absolutely, some really wonderful words.
And just thinking about that minute's silence, I was imagining what it might have been like to be in the trenches, particularly as it was raining. Like, imagine soggy food, perhaps the cries of wounded soldiers in the battlefields. They're cold, they're wet. Like, in some ways it's good that it's wet footy tonight, because it gives us a deeper appreciation if we allow our imagination to begin to picture what it might have been like for them.
Yeah, spot on, Jackson.
Yep. And you know, if you're not here and you're listening in the car or at home, you can imagine so light rain falling, and you cast that against the backdrop of the bright lights here at the Queen Elizabeth Oval, and then you had 200 or so footballers and netballers, and you know, these are young people. These are people of the age those who served and those who went off to fight in World War I or World War II or any conflict around the globe. These are people who did not have the opportunity or may have had it taken away from them in some way, shape or form. So it's a stark reminder that when you see so many people out there that 100 years ago, and these are two of the oldest clubs in our competition, that both of these clubs would have been hugely affected by conflict over the years, and you know, there would be players that have got family members that might be serving now or have served in the past, and all that kind of thing. So it is a really stark reminder of exactly why we gather here today. Because as much as we gather for football and netball, I think there's a lot of people that gather to pay their respects by almost coming here to this cathedral of sport and doing it in that way.
Yep, for sure. You've only got to go into the centres football rooms,
Yep.
and their honour board. And all footy clubs would have them, and the honour board, and those that served and didn't come back. And you look at VFL clubs, certainly Melbourne in particular, every club was affected by it, guys going away and not coming back or never being able to play football again and things like that. So,
yep. Absolutely. And I mean this very genuinely, Jackson. You are a person of you're a person of faith, and that obviously lives and breathes very strongly with you. But as someone who isn't necessarily, I can imagine that others who aren't, that this day is about as close as it gets necessarily to something where you go to a venue and you sort of stand there and in respect of almost a higher cause in a way.
Yep.
It's quite something. It is sort of the closest that football comes to religion in many ways.
True, and even this morning was a reflection of that at the Bendigo dawn service at 6 a.m. Pall Mall was packed with people from the Alexandra Fountain right up to the Shamrock Hotel, which was just majestic to see Bendigo at that hour of the morning, in the silence of the morning, the calmness of it, just remembering the sacrifice of all the people who have served. And I wrote earlier today, 103,021 people have died at war for Australia. That's a lot of people.
Yep, there's noted.
A lot of stories, a lot of individuals. Today in my homily at the cathedral at the Mass for Anzac Day that we had, I quoted 2 people that had served at war in my family. My great-grandfather, who served in Morotai in the Pacific, helping to load wounded soldiers onto the ship. He was in the hospital and ambulance division, Kevin Ryan. Then my great-great-grandfather, by adoption, Frank Ryan, actually was wounded in France in the battlefield, spent 6 months in hospital in England, and I quoted from a 2-sentence letter, which was pretty blunt, like he was poisoned, he was gassed, injuries severe, this is his address, that's it. Like, imagine living with the unknown of, well, he did survive, he did come home, but he died a young man, aged only 36. Imagine sitting with the unknown if you're the family back home. Now, that's just one story of I said 103,021 people. They're the people that died, but there's countless more that served and lived with the trauma all through their life.
Yep, and as you said, Dolly, the families and the people that not only have to potentially live with trauma, but provide support to those people who go and are sent away for months at a time.
Yep, for sure. And that's the thing too, and that's where it's great tonight that it does become a fundraiser for the RSL, who do so much work, Legacy, all of these different networks that are the support networks that we need, not just for those that have served, but their family, their friends, all of those things. And it's just incredible what we do, that we band together in tough times. And we see that all the time with natural disasters, how we just shoulder the wheel. What can we do to help?
Yep.
And that's the thing. It's not what's in it for me, what can I do to help other people, and that's what the human spirit's all about.
Absolutely, it is, and so it shouldn't be lost on, and it's certainly not lost on those of us here this evening at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. Both teams are out there going through their preliminary warm-ups. It was Eaglehawk and South Bendigo here at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. Eaglehawk first on the table through 2 weeks of Bendigo footy. South Bendigo third. Both teams undefeated, and there is a lot to play for this evening between the two teams. If you're just joining us, Mac Cameron is a late out for the Bloods, so Zayden Lockwood comes in and replaces him. He will wear the number 28 as he is warming up this evening. So the Bloods have got a couple of players who are donning the alternate numbers. I can see Will Allen out there in 41. He's oscillated between that and 47 so far in the early part of the season. And unfortunately, Charlie Langford is down on the bench in front of us for Eaglehawk and not out there tonight. So that is, and we spoke to Trav about it, Dolly, that is a significant out. So it's 2 really significant outs, one on each team. Matt Cameron for South Bendigo. So it's advantage Braden Frost in the ruck, and then Charlie Langford comes out of that Eaglehawk defence, potentially the best key back in the comp.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and it does even it up a little bit. And on the night where the conditions, and we talked about it earlier with Travis about clearances and stoppages, that if you're able to get first hand on the ball, and Braden will do that, but certainly young Lockwood around the ground, his athleticism and probably pushing forward could be a key factor, and maybe South encourage him to do that. And he's a young fella out there, just the exuberance of youth that we talk about, Trav. I had it many, many years ago.
He's got a big future ahead of him. There's a few that I think could be watching this performance from Zayden Lockwood closely to see how he goes smashed up against men. We know that there's been athletic rucks from South Bendigo that have had to bide their time and then get drafted to the AFL level before Dolly.
Yeah.
One K Strawn over at Adelaide reminds us of that. So who knows what could be in the future for Zayden Lockwood. A few out there in the long sleeves for Eaglehawk as well as they get set to go at the Barnard Street end of the ground. Joel Swatton did the tagging job last week on Brad Benaki, so the Gisborne star. He is, of course, a return to South Bendigo this season. Would you put him to Billy Evans tonight if you're Troy Coates and Jack Fallon?
Yep, I would start with that. Yeah, do that. Evans is such a key playmaker. He's the barometer for Eaglehawk, and if he's getting the ball, setting it up. So, don't wait for him to get 10 possessions and then do it. Start. And see what happens from there. And the thing about Jack is he gets the ball and he's so dangerous with the ball in his hand. So, he doesn't have to just be a completely negative player. That him being positive, makes Evans think about his game as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, 3 more games to come in Bendigo footy tomorrow. Kangaroo Flat and Castlemaine. That one is at Dower Park. Gisborne and Strathfield say is going to be intriguing. I'm going to head along to that tomorrow afternoon down at Gardner Reserve. And then our broadcast game tomorrow from 1:30, Golden Square and Sandhurst. That will be at Wade Street. So the Dragons undefeated so far in this young season. And Golden Square, Jackson, last week, very disappointing against Castlemaine. So that's a very big task they've got on their hands.
And Castlemaine very much on the improve at the moment. It's great to see. They had their big win, obviously, the other week as well. So they're really on the improve, Castlemaine, and looking forward to seeing them throughout season 2025.
Absolutely. The Hawks are warming up, as I said, at the Barnard Street end of the ground. Darcy Richards is out there, of course, a former Eaglehawk player, and his young blokes are just running around right in the thick of the warm-up. They've got their footy there. I'm a little bit worried they're just going to get stepped on or something, Jackson. I'm not sure it's entirely safe for players of that age to be out there for Eaglehawk. I don't think they meet the minimum age requirements, but good to see Darcy Richards and his 2 youngsters getting around out on the ground.
Well, Darcy's tough, so you would think the offspring are tough as well, Joel.
That's very true. That's a good point. Well made, Dolly. The rain is continuing to fall here at the QEO. Does it advantage one of these teams in your mind, Dolly?
I wouldn't have thought so. No, I think both of them, they've got some strong midfielders that are, hard at the ball, hard at the contest. So, I wouldn't have thought either way. I think probably, south of their smaller forwards, you would think that there's not going to be too many packed marks taken tonight, Jacko. So, ball at the ground will favour probably Harvey and Antonovitz.
Well, there was forecast for up to 25 millimetres in Bendigo today. Let's hope we do get it because the ground's awfully dry at the moment across the city of Greater Bendigo.
And not just in Bendigo, the further west you go, and it looks like a lot of that rainfall's fallen further west so far today. The further west you go, it is very dry, so I think it's going to be pretty welcome.
And Ed at Tulane, who haven't been able to play. The ground's been so hard, so hopefully it's rain coming down at Tulane as well.
I actually went out to Tulane last week. I've never been out there, and I went out there last week. They had the sprinklers on I was there, so hopefully they can get back out there to Mount Pleasant because it did look a pretty fast surface. I don't think the penetrometer would be doing much damage out there at Tulane.
That's a big word, Jack. What's that mean, Jackson? What's that? Penetrometer. What's that?
Penetrometer.
Yeah, is that a flower or?
No, that's how they. I can't believe.
I'm struggling here.
The penetrometer is how they measure the. You get the good 4 or the soft 5 at the races. The penetrometer.
Okay. All right.
The stimp meter is what you measure the golf course greens with. The speed of the greens, the stimp meter, but the penetrometer gives you the surface density, Dolly.
So there we go, Jackson. That's why I come to the football because I'm learning, and I'm thinking the listeners are as well.
And the 3 of us have worked as journalists over the years, but I'm usually accused of making up words. So there we go. The midfield scenario for South Bendigo appears to be one of the best in the competition at the moment when you consider that they've got Josh Nitsky, Joel Swatton, Brodie Haddo, Anthony Zimmerman, Jesse Collins and Will Keck. How do we see them combining with and complementing each other? throughout the year and tonight's game in particular.
Yeah, well, certainly, Haddo, you just know what you're going to get with him. He's one of the most consistent players going around. He's a tough, hard-at-it sort of player and uses the ball well. And, yeah, their link work, I thought going into the season, all these new players they've got, I mean, some of them had played together before at Kerrang and White Hills, but I wasn't quite sure how they'd gel, but so far they're doing it really well. But tonight's another big test for them.
And Tom Brereton's a really important part of that South Bendigo team coming back in, and Dujon referenced it as well, the fact that he comes back having played at South previously. He was a gun when he was here last, and he's been playing a little bit off half-back so far this season. Went and won that flag at White Hills, but he was the one that over the last couple of years, I reckon they really missed just his... He brings such an attack to the game. You know, the mindset that he brings coming from behind the ball is really important.
Yep. And the great thing about him, he's had his injury issues, so he's probably been able to get a bigger pre-season in so far. He's been able to get games together. I think even at White Hills, he missed quite a lot of footy because of injury, and that's the thing, is just continuity in your game, Jacko, that if you're able to play week after week and just build confidence, and he's been able to do that.
We're watching the warm-up closely. It's an extended warm-up. I feel they're padding time. Perhaps it was...
Been out there for about 3 weeks, Jack.
Yes, it's been a big build-up to the game. At one stage I was thinking perhaps it would start about 6:15 with the first ball up, but in fact...
could have started at 5:45, just quietly.
Well, they're sticking with the 6:30 advertised start, clearly. But
and I think that's probably a good thing, because if you plan to come here and you've been sitting at home watching the footy and you plan to roll up to the QEO, you thought you had the half hour after the footy in Melbourne finished, you're coming up here.
That's right.
Don't start early and someone walks in and 8 minutes into the first quarter.
That's correct, You've got to look after the patrons, because they are paying, and even those that have paid their membership, that if they rock up and you're 10 minutes into the game, they're thinking, well, hang on, what's going on? So
gives us a chance to look at Max Kennedy here, who is, of course, one of those two Coburg players you referenced, Jacko, powerfully built midfielder out of the middle, and then Lockie Walker, who is there as well. A little bit taller and rangier, Lockie Walker, the Coburg vice-captain, but both of them have played VFL footy this year, and both of them bring a fair bit of cachet to the table for Eaglehawk. It's nice when you can slot players with that kind of experience and that kind of talent level into your team.
Absolutely. There's some really classy individuals that they've recruited through the off-season. Another which I'm looking forward to seeing at some point, who's not playing tonight, is Joel Butterick, who's played the past 2 years in the VFL with Brisbane.
Had a stack of it last week against Kangaroo Flat.
He's a very handy player, and his connection with the Borough is through Clayton Holmes, because they played in a premiership together at Nightcliffs in the Northern Territory Football League in 2019. So that's there's lots of little connections.
There's heaps. So there is heaps. So you think about Jonty Neves is connected to the Coburg guys through the VFL program. Then you've got Josh Nitschke, who Nitschke played under Trav Matheson and Troy Coates up there at Kerrang. So he's one of those two. So Hayden Geddes played with Brodie Haddo at Donald. There's a couple of those Kerrang players. You've got all the players from White Hills, so your Cal Crisps, your Breredens, your Antonoviches, Joel Swatton coming back from Maryborough. Alex Davis, of course, has come with that White Hills crew as well, so there's quite a few. Jesse Collins, who played for the other team, so did Jack Fallon, both premiership players in 2018. They've got 4 premiership teammates out there tonight in Sam Thompson, Joel Mullen, Jonty Neves and Cam McGlashan. So the premiership teammates of those ones. Then you've got the 2 co-coaches have coached against each other. You've got the likes of Clayton Holmes, who's played cricket with Zach Hare at Bendigo United. So there are... and we see it so often in local footy, but there are players intertwined and intermingling all over the ground tonight.
And probably even with the netball as such. These are the links between football and netball, isn't there, Joel? So the player I'm looking, and a few of the Eaglehawk fans have been telling me, keep an eye on number 27 for the Two Blues, a guy called Ty Evans, a real great mover across the ground and great skills. So first time get to see him, so I'll be keeping an eye on him.
And he came through the GWS Academy too, so he's obviously a very talented youngster.
From up Leeton Way, I think, and came through the Giants Academy. I saw him play in round 1 against Golden Square, and he can move. Sort of that forward of centre, so he'll play on a wing. He'll start out here on a wing, and he can go, and a beautiful user of the footy as well.
Kicked a couple of goals at Golden Square as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he kicked them both in that second quarter when they kicked the 7 in a row unanswered. He was one that really got them going in that second quarter. So we're not too far away from a bounce, probably about 5 or 6 minutes away. There is another game in progress tonight. We'll try and get you across some updates of this one if we can. Maiden Gully YCW taking on Newbridge. That's out the road at Marist College. So, again, good on the LVFNL for stumping up and doing something a little bit different tonight, Dolly.
Yep, and I think the other one's out at Charlton.
Yes, absolutely.
As well. So, I think it's terrific that the leagues are saying, well, we can do this. I mean, obviously AFL with Anzac Day been going for 30 years, Jacko, but other leagues are saying, well, we've got lights and it's great we're using them. I've been banging on for a long time, Joel, that we got the lights at the QEO. Let's get some more games. I mean, we don't want them in the middle of July where it's going to be freezing cold. But tonight, other than the rain, the conditions here are terrific. You've got the big grandstand, get under cover. You've got the rotundas here, or where the old rotunda used to be, Jacko.
That's right,
terrific.
And like I've been involved in the Bendigo Football League since I first started calling on the Fresh in 2012. All this infrastructure has come since then, so there are recent innovations to the Queen Elizabeth Oval, which you described before, Joel, as a cathedral of sports. I quite like that description. I've never thought of it in such a way.
And we're not far from, do you call it the office, the Sacred Heart Cathedral, Jackson?
Just home, I think it's called.
Home.
It's just home these days, Dolly. There were a couple of games down the road as well. We'll get stuck into our tips here in a moment. A couple of games in the Riddle League. So Kyneton took on Lancefield today, had a big win. So, of course, the Tigers have been in Bendigo footy. The interesting game, though, was Macedon and Diggers Rest met at Macedon, so at Tony Clark Reserve. Beautiful ground at the foothills of the mountain there. A draw. 62 apiece. So, like the first ever Anzac Day game. And then, of course, last year's Anzac Day game. A draw between Macedon and Diggers Rest.
No extra time. It's just a draw.
Just a draw. Put it in the book as 2 premiership points.
That's always a debate, isn't it? Every time there's a draw, we're going to play extra time.
Roll that out again.
I liked the draw.
Tiring, that one is. Absolutely tiring. So both of these two teams are getting set to go. We are just about to get underway here at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. Dolly, who do you like this evening?
Eaglehawk.
A matchup you're looking forward to watching across the ground? Is there one in particular?
I'm thinking whoever's against Evans. Billy Evans. That to me
got to be Swan.
It's
got to be Swan.
Yeah, well, Joel, and isn't it great that he's went over to Maryborough, didn't have the success obviously, but thought, no, I'll come back to South Bendigo, and he's playing terrific footy, and again he's that big-bodied midfielder that South were looking for, and he's just a running machine. So in terms of endurance, Billy won't run him off his legs.
The matchup on Antonovich is going to be fascinating tonight. That's one I'm really looking forward to see. Who do you think's going to win, Jacko?
I like Eaglehawk. Billy Evans, 37 touches last week, 8 inside 50s will be key to stop.
I'm going to go for South Bendigo then, if you two are on Eaglehawk, and that's really my only justification for it this evening. So in the rain on Anzac Day, it is great to have Bendigo football and netball back on this sacred occasion. It's a day to respect, it's a day to reflect, and it's a day to go head-to-head. It is South Bendigo and Eaglehawk, Live 25, local fresh footy. Here's Jackson Saunders.
Frost and crisp in the ruck, and it's taken out by Kennedy. Up to full forward, spearing pass, 20 metres out from goal. About a dozen players around the contest. Ball goes to ground, 25 metres out from the Burrows goal. They're going to the city end at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. In this Anzac Day clash under lights, it's taken sharp, snapped by O'Shaughnessy, but across the face and just behind.
So first score of the game goes the way of Eaglehawk. Jack Fallon to kick in. Premiership player back in 2018. And it looks like it's Aidan Hanley who's got the job to start on Caden Antonovich. No Matt Cameron out there tonight, so a big job for young Zayden Lockwood for the Bloods. Fallon finds the short in Swatton, who has indeed lined up on Evans to start this game. Hands it off to Sir Fallon, who drives a kick wide to the pool side. Rusbridge had a play on it, couldn't take it away. Hawks will come through the middle of the ground. Kick toward Evans, floated over his head. Running into trouble out the back there for South Bendigo. Brereton had it, lost it, got the handball away to Crisp. Low kick to the edge of the 50. Hand on it from Haddo, knocked it away from Lockwood. 45 out from the south goal. They pile in. No whistle on play. Lockwood still milling around this footy. South's first attack inside the arc. Now a play on it for Zimmerman. He's dragged down, and right at the top of the 50 for the Bloods. We'll have a ball up.
Rain continuing to fall here Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Live 25 local fresh footy. Ball's thrown up. It's knocked out for Eaglehawk out of the defensive zone. Zimmerman gets in the way, helps to get it back inside 50. Eaglehawk have numbers in defence. Antonovic's kick was smothered. Ball ricochets for Eaglehawk. They'll work it out through numbers up towards centre wing. Underneath the marking contest, Jack O'Shaughnessy. Ball goes to ground. It's socketed forward by Jack Thompson. 40 metres out from the Borough's goal. In defence, South Bendigo, Tate Poyser. He'll clear towards the boundary line and he finds safety through it and will have it thrown back in. 2 minutes gone in this opening term. Live 25 local fresh footy. It's Eaglehawk by a point.
Played as insufficient intent in the end. A deliberate rule, so don't see that all that often. Here's Donnett for the Borough, 70 out from goal. Short kick, not paid the distance. Sprawling forward to try and mark that was Bolger. He couldn't take it. Now it comes away for the Bloods. Harvey, low kick up the line. Skittles past Allen. They've got numbers and representation behind the ball here. Eaglehawk dragged down in the tackle though was Nick Thompson. And it's going to be a ball up right half forward for South Bendigo. Only score of the game on the board to the Borough so far. Less than 3 minutes gone. Allen up unopposed in ruck. Knocks it down toward the boundary line. Kennedy was there with Swatton. Neither can keep it in. And still in South Bendigo's forward half in front of the visiting change rooms. Will be tossed back into play.
Braden Frost and Will Allen to do battle. Ball spinning into play. And a whistle was blown. No, umpire to come from the netball courts. Umpire says play on. Comes now to Evans. He's got it defensive side of centre wing up towards half forward. Eaglehawk close to the boundary line. It's scrappy at the moment. South Bendigo have good hustle across half back. About 6 players have touched it, but nobody's got clean possession. The Bloods eventually clear across half back, up towards the centre of the ground. Eaglehawk try to intercept again. 5 or 6 players have touched it. No one with clean possession. Brock Harvey toe pokes it up towards centre half forward. Eaglehawk attempt to clear. Courageously putting his body on the line was Lockwood for the Bloods. Ball goes to ground and we'll have a ball up. Centre wing, grandstand side.
Terrific effort by Lockwood then.
He shows a little bit as the big man. Callum Crisp, of course, whose brother Jack tied Jim Steins' consecutive games record at the MCG this afternoon. 244 on the bounce. Bloods clear, kick up toward half forward. Harvey kept it in somehow. Donnett will sprint away for the Borough. Kicks the grandstand side wing. Frost in front. Had a bite of the cherry. Miller there in support for South Bendigo. Ball in dispute right on centre wing. Haddo sliding through. McGlashan's there. It's dragged in underneath them all. And we'll have a ball up in front of the interchange gates. Crisp reaches up. Frost takes it away. Straight to Fallon of South Bendigo. Bangs it on his left boot up toward half forward. Attacking it hard. Nick Thompson couldn't take the mark. Comes away through Eaglehawk hands. Pushed off the handball was Ty Evans. They scrap it forward the Borough. Here's Hoare. He got run down by Brereton. Picked him off at half back. Tommy Brereton with the chase down tackle. He wins it back at South Bendigo's centre half back.
Beautifully called. He goes with the foot pass to Brodie Haddo in front of our broadcast position. Rain continuing to tumble here. Good crowd building too for this evening clash. Kick is good, goes down the line to half forward and it's marked by Callum Crisp. He goes off the left boot centrally. It was a wise option and he's managed to spot up Jake Rusbridge. So he's got a 2 kicks out from goal. They're headed to the Barnard Street end. South Bendigo yet to score. Kick is accurate, had to be precise and was straight onto the chest of James Davies. So we've travelled almost 6 minutes. I suspect with the wet ball it may be just beyond him Dolly from here.
Yeah, put it to the top of the square. Don't go for the goal. Put it 10 metres out. Defenders don't like it there.
James Davies, though, I sense is backing himself. He'll have to give it an almighty roost. He's done exactly that. It looks good. And it's hit the woodwork at the last moment. The anti-climax. Behind a piece, 6 minutes gone.
Don't worry about kicking to the square when you can kick that like that, Jackson.
Absolutely laced that one. That was a beautiful kick. Jack Donnett to bring it back in for Eaglehawk. Leaves the defensive goal square, drives a long kick up the middle of the ground. Crisp gets a hand to it for South Bendigo. It'll spin out the back of the pack. No one really knew who was going to chase after that football. Brereton came across and he and McGlashan ushered the footy over the boundary line. In fact, there was Poyser who was locked in battle there, and will be thrown in front of the grandstand. Good crowd up in the grandstand too, Dolly, which is good to see.
Oh, it's terrific turnout. Great. Given the weather.
Yeah, a few people huddled under the shade sails at the Barnard Street end of the ground. Off this pack of the stoppage, Swatton kicks an absolute bullet inside the forward 50. Who's there out the back? Antonovich up to meet it. Lockwood applied some good pressure. Oh, Hanley's kick across the defensive 50. It was Walker who stood up strong under some contact. Didn't take the mark, but did get the free kick. And the Borough can nurse it off the half-back line. Kick toward Nick Thompson's knocked away from him. And it spills out of play. It'll be thrown back in. One behind a piece. 7 minutes gone. First quarter Anzac Day footy at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. Live 25, local fresh footy.
Great courage there by Lachlan Walker, the co-captain of Coburg. Ball to be thrown back in for Eaglehawk. Frost gets to the front position, opposed by Crisp. Ball hits the deck. It's trickling towards the boundary line again. Can they get a boot to ball? Kick around the body from Evans up towards centre wing, swimming pool side. Lots around the footy. Ball goes out and we'll need it thrown back in. Almost 8 minutes gone. It's a point apiece.
Out of bounds in the full here, I reckon, Jacko, maybe.
Right.
Yep,
okay.
that's right.
Good pick up there, Joel. So it's on the outer side for South Bendigo. The kick will come from Nitsky up towards the pocket, but it's been turned over again. And Eaglehawk have it once more in defence, so they'll look to clear. They'll go across the ground, and the recipient will be Nick Thompson, who's got it across half back, and he'll send it down the grandstand wing.
A young kid from Charlton kicks an absolute copter. He couldn't find Holmes, who's going with the shaved head tonight. Looks a little bit different as Clayton Holmes. No less aggro, though. He gave Zimmerman one after he flicked the handball up. Finds Nitschke, who goes into the middle of the ground for South Bendigo. Sat nicely for Brooks. Wide hand pass. Davis, premiership player at both Calaval and at White Hills, and Haddo takes a terrific mark with one hand. Ball floating over his head. He guided it into his chest. Three-time best and fairest comes back inboard. Finds Brooks. Brooks kicks inside the forward 50. Big pack forms. Who's among it in red and white? No one, and the Bloods have got the number, or the Hawks have got numbers. Kennedy slams it outside the defensive 50 into the centre of the ground. Good tackle from Davis. Forced the footy loose for the Bloods. Brereton, handball back to Brooks. Standing start, 80 out. Kicks inside 50. Lockwood with a run at a jump. Couldn't take it. Antonovich tried to go off the ground. Hawks have got numbers. They can rally in defence, and they'll clear it off half back here through Frost.
They do. Frost with a big kick goes about 50 metres in front of our broadcast position. It's across right half forward. Who can get to the footy first? It's Eaglehawks, Cam McGlashan. Boundary line is the enemy. He was assisted by Ben Thompson, and so we'll have it thrown back in. So still no goal, almost 10 minutes gone. Score sponsor, Don Smallgoods. Is Don, is good. It's a point apiece, 10 minutes gone in this opening term. Anzac Day footy, ball spinning back into play. Haddo got to the front position with the crumb. He follows up again. Nitsky there also. Chance now for Eaglehawks. Max Kennedy feeds the hand pass out. They'll send it inside 50 toward the pocket. Off hands. Ben Thompson had it fisted away from him, and we'll need it thrown back in. 40 metres out. Left forward pocket for the Borough to the city end.
Defensive efforts from both teams have been terrific. The tackling, it's a brilliant contest so far. Don't worry about the score, it's brilliant to watch.
I think both teams are just going to struggle to manufacture a score. Who can do that more effectively? It's going to be the team that comes out on top tonight. A couple of Eaglehawk players clash there. Fallon kicked it away after the fact, and it's going to be a free kick to the Hawks. So, free kick to the Borough here. Jack Thompson is going to get it. I think John Norton said that he got pushed into his teammate by the South Bendigo player.
Yep.
So this is the first set shot on goal. Jack Thompson's got 3 on the season so far. Kicked them all last week. The youngest of the 3 brothers lines it up and pulls his kick away to the left. Minor score. Hawks back in front, 2 behind. South Bendigo 1 behind. 11 gone first term. Score sponsor Jason Westcott Builder. Live 25, local fresh footy.
Good to be with you in this round 3 clash. And a good crowd has come to witness this Anzac Day clash. Brock Harvey has the kicking duties for South Bendigo, and we're waiting for the ball to be relayed. The rotunda at the city end is I would say 90% full.
It is a good
at the
crowd.
moment, which is terrific. At the Barnard Street end, the rotunda would be almost half full.
It is a shame these days, Dolly. It is not a great place to watch footy unless it's a really nice day, the QEO. With the rotundas and the way that it's been redeveloped to have all the open space, there's just no cover.
So Jack Fallon actually now has the kicking duties, and he opts to go long towards the swimming pool half-back flank. The kick went about 60 metres. There's about 20 players gathered around it. Ball goes into dispute. Eaglehawk get it back inside 50, perhaps not for long. Darling gets in the way, helps to intercept, goes by hand to Zach Hare. He clears up towards centre wing, outer side. 6 in the marking contest, off hands, out of bounds, true centre wing, pull side.
The tricky part of this is in terms of numbers at contest. You don't want to all be there. You want to have a player out, but it's try not to all get caught into the contest.
Rain continuing to fall. League photographer Steve Dilks has seen enough. He's headed home. He didn't pack the poncho tonight, Dolly. Into the middle of the ground, Ango for the Hawks. There's Bloods numbers everywhere around this footy. They can't quite release Zimmerman by hand. Evans slides in for the Hawks. That's Ty Evans over the top. So 2 Hanleys, 2 Evans, and 4 Thompsons out there for Eaglehawk tonight. If we call one of those names, it's a good chance it'll be on the end of the footy. And so the Hawks have got a chance here. Building the football up. Here is one of the Thompsons. This is Jack, who drives a long footy to full forward. Oh, Neves was in the right spot, just had it go through his hands. Hare on the last line of defence. Handball around the corner to Davis. Now back to Hare, working in a phone box at fullback for South Bendigo. Kick skews off the side of the boot in front of the scoreboard, out of bounds on the full. Mullen has got the Sherrin in his hands. On return from injury, Joel Mullen. Runner-up in the best and fairest last year. Good to have him back. This would be a really tough kick right out on the boundary line. He sets it up to the top of the square. Neves attacks it. Chris puts his fist through it. Falls to Brereton for the Bloods. Picked up by Kennedy. Over the head from Max Kennedy. Can't score. Out of bounds on the full. Eaglehawk 2 behinds. Leads South Bendigo 1 behind. 13 gone in the first term.
Would have been a nice party trick, but to no avail. Jack Fallon is entrusted with the duty to reinstigate play for the Bloods. That's a beautiful kick, majestic. It went about 70 metres to the high-numbered Jesse Collins in number 88. Across halfback, he goes to centre wing, pulls side. Good spoil from Eaglehawks' Lachlan Walker. Helps to create a stoppage. South Bendigo, though, with numbers, are able to recover. Josh Schnitsky does well. Kicks it toward half forward. And Haddo has it now close to the boundary line. And whistle blown. Ball, in fact, went into dispute. And so we'll need to have a ball up, out of side, taken out of the ruck contest by Eaglehawks' Braden Frost. Round the body, up towards centre wing, chance for Mallon. They've worked it up towards half forward. Running after the football is Kennedy, and the ball's gone out of bounds. We'll have it tossed back in. It's
out on the full.
Out on the full. Okay, yeah. 15 gone, opening term.
Or insufficient attempt.
Might be one of those nights, Jacko, where if the ball's near the boundary line, we just default to out of bounds on the full, I think. The way that they're kicking them so far. Isaiah Miller, the former co-coach, kicks up the line for the Bloods, and Braden Frost had his name written all over that one. Clutches it into his chest. Just defensive side of the pull side wing. Drops an awkward-looking kick down the line. Straight to his opposite number 21 in the long sleeve. Zach Hare, the Bloods skipper, comes inboard with an aggressive kick to Fallon, who's so creative, ball in hand. He whacks it on that left boot, kicks it as far as he can. It's a hidden hope, really. Antonovich is up to meet it. Good support there coming across from Dylan Hanley for the Hawks. He's going to end up with it. Got it from Sam Thompson. Measures his kick down the line. Looking for Bolger. Couldn't find him. Bolger goes back in, puts his head over it for the Hawks. All on the grandstand wing. Sliding in now is Harvey. He drags it underneath for the Bloods. Ball's not going anywhere. Now we've got a ball up in front of the Eaglehawk bench. They lead by a point. 15 gone opening term, live 25, local fresh footy.
A flurry of changes at this 16-minute mark. Taken out of the ruck with confidence. Braden Frost off the left boot, up to centre half forward. Off hands for the Borough. 45 metres out from goal. Umpire says play on. No one's got clean possession. Billy Evans attempts to hand pass. Inventive. Eaglehawk with a shot on goal. It came from Clayton Holmes, and just a behind. So 3 behinds now for Eaglehawk. South Bendigo 1 behind. Score sponsor Jason Westcott Builder.
So doing all the scoring so far, the Hawks. Miller, he drives it in for the Bloods, clears the pack, and it's all Eaglehawk out the back, picked up by Ango, drives it back into the rain, inside forward 50. Clever pick up and gather from Jack Thompson, but his kick was way too narrow. It bounces out of play in the left forward pocket. It'll be tossed back in.
Well, South are going the long kick from defence, which I like, but often they're not getting the next part of it. Eaglehawk have been able to win the ball back and get it back in their 50 a lot, Joel.
Of course, no Matt Cameron tonight, and he would be the number one target on about 80% of those kicks, Dolly.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
the adjustment there without the big man for South Bendigo. Holmes in the ruck, takes it out, uses his strength, brings it around the corner on the left boot, but not far enough, out of bounds on the full. And so it'll be Brereton to bring it back in from the last line for South, who trail by 2 points, having only scored 1 through 17.5 in the first.
Just posing the question, could it be a goalless opening quarter for both sides? Brereton kicks it about 60 metres. Eaglehawk get it back inside 50. And Bolger perhaps has it, so he's got it 50 metres out from goal, up towards the tip of the goal square, off hands, 5 metres out from goal, toe poke, and a fantastic finish from Billy Evans, who has nailed it from the tip of the goal square. 1-3-9 are the Borough. South Bendigo are behind. Score sponsor Bendigo City Framers. Live 25 local fresh footy.
That's wet weather footy at its best, Jacko. The Eaglehawk were able to knock the ball back into play. South obviously wanting to hit it through goal, but it fell to Billy, who happened to be in the right spot. And yeah, I won't worry about grabbing it. I'll just soccer it, and did it really well.
6th goal of the season for Billy Evans. He will be in contention for the Mickelson at the end of the year, Dolly. If he can stay fit, he's going to be a big part of that night in September. He was right up there last year as well. His 3rd BNF last season for the Borough. From the stoppage, milled around in the middle. Brereton gave it away. Bolger's kick inside the forward 50, up and down the mine shaft, roving it beautifully, but throwing it away in the end. Inside forward 50 there, the Hawks. And so it'll be a free kick to the Bloods in defence. It was Hoare who had a play on it, and as he was spun in the tackle, could only throw it away. And Isaiah Miller has got it inside the defensive 50. The only Bloods player to have won down at Gisborne last week. So the only player still playing for South Bendigo that had previously won there in a red and white jumper. He's been a long-time servant, plays his 100th game for the club tonight in senior footy. Kick straight to McGlashan. Interesting decision to play on to Walker. McGlashan gets it back, loads up on the left boot. O'Shaughnessy attacks it with 2 hands. Can't take the mark. Support there for the Hawks. Good tackle Davis to force it loose for the Bloods. And then coming in over the top, Geddes, in fact it was Davies providing support, and we've got a ball up 40 metres out from the Hawks goal. They lead by 8, nearly 20 goal opening term.
Most players on the ground around this contest at the moment too. It's really scrappy. Ball comes to Thompson. Whistle though, and a free kick to South Bendigo in defence. Swatton will help to clear. Across half back in front of our broadcast position for the Bloods. And he's got to wait for options to run forward towards the wing. There was no one for him to kick to a moment ago. Swatton opts to play on. Sends it high. One of the intended targets, Collins. Ground level, Smith attempts to provide support. So too Zimmerman. And we'll have a ball up again. Centre wing, grandstand side. The rain is getting heavier too as we approach the latter stages of this opening quarter of footy. 21 minutes almost tick by. It's skidding along the turf towards the city end for Eaglehawk, but then it's repelled towards Nitsky for South Bendigo out of sight. He's taking the game on with audacity, and now the rain's so thick you can hard to see through the binoculars. Up towards the tip of the goal square to Harvey. It's metres out. South Bendigo for a chance. Free kick, pushing the back. Bloods with a shot of goal forthcoming. What did you see, Dolly? It was an exciting passage of play going forward.
Harvey's jumped for the ball, and he was just held and sort of pushed down. So you can't blame the Eaglehawk player. He probably thought he'd taken possession, but he didn't. But it was Nitschke's play that set it up. Jackson was terrific from half forward and just get it in there quickly.
Brock Harvey around the body, as is conventionally the case these days. Back to 2 points. 117 the Bloods. Eaglehawk 139. Score sponsor Aussie Disposals. Live 25. Local fresh footy, and here's Nathan Dole.
Well, we've got Norm Jegan behind us, and he's marking down Nitschke for the goal assist. And Johnny Hunter's not looking too happy over here because he held the record for the highest number worn in Bendigo senior footy of 77. And there's a guy out there wearing 88. Johnny's not too happy.
Been usurped. Yep. The top of the pops.
Yep.
It's a fair old downgrade for Jesse Collins, just quietly going to 88.
Could be a reason behind it all.
It could well be. Yep. Could well be. Free kick in the middle after the stoppage. Who's this going to go to? It's going to go to Walker for the Hawks, who lead by a couple of points, and the rain is really thumping down now. Walker connects with Kennedy. The Hawks go inside forward 50. Long kick to the top of the goal square. Fallon getting back there, desperately sliding in the defensive goal square. Rushes it through for a minor score. 10 points the Hawks, 7 the Bloods, 22 and a half gone in the opening term. Live 25 local fresh footy.
Brody Haddo received the Jack Fallon kick in right in front of the scoreboard. It's a 3-point lead to Eaglehawk. Hugs the boundary line with the kick, and as you have anticipated, Joel, out of bounds in the full again. I think if they hug the boundary, as you say, your prediction may be right in that case. Here's the kick for the Borough, long up towards the tip of the goal square. Off hands. It's in the goal mouth. Jack Fallon gets there first for South Bendigo. A somewhat audacious ball, but pays off. Comes now to Cody Brooks. He had good support in defence. Brooks's kick. Running back courageously. Joel Swatton opts to play on. Perhaps not the wisest decision. Billy Evans, terrific by hand. Goes to Nick Walker. Hit now back into the middle of the ground. Ty Evans inside attacking 50. It's at centre half forward. Kick came from Mallon up towards the pocket, off hands and out of bounds. A terrific spoil by Isaiah Miller in defence for the Bloods.
Great effort by Nick Thompson here too, that if Swatton was able to get the ball over the top, South were away and Eaglehawk get it back near their goal again.
So ball tossed back in. Borough are inside forward 50, leading by a couple of points. Neves in ruck, going against Crisp. Crisp on hands and knees. Haddo. Nitschke has a play at it for the Bloods. Might have thrown it out of there. Zimmerman just hacks it forward, straight down the throat of Frost, who's sitting behind the play. Drops it on the left boot. Into the pocket. Terrific mark from Crisp. Floating back. As a good ruck should. He was able to cut that off the man from Myrtleford. Now he looks a little bereft. He finds an option in Miller, scooting past. Again, he goes out toward the boundary line. Davies with 2 hands. Can't take the mark at half-back for the Bloods, who are under siege at the moment. It's been all the Hawks in the early stages. Long kick is just blasted up the line in hope for South Bendigo, and it might work out as well. Harvey's gathered at 70 metres from home. His centering kick. Rusbridge dropped what he should have taken right at the critical moment, and then they converge on him, and the Hawks will win this one back. Bolger's got a chance at half-back, got it from Walker, couldn't quite collect it, still fighting for the footy. Zimmerman and Swatton, and they lock it up. That's a really good result in the end for South Bendigo to force the 50-50, and a ball up just inside the boundary line, 35 out from the Bloods goal.
Rain bucketing down now in this contest at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. Bloods into attack late in this opening term. Lurking is Haddo. He can't get clean use of the football. Eaglehawk tackling is ferocious. They manage to clear it out through that man in O'Shannessy, who goes up towards centre wing. The mark has been taken by Clayton Holmes. Still a good 2 kicks out from goal. Kick smothered beautifully by Jack Fallon. Ricochets toward right half forward for the Borough. A chance for them to recover. Holmes attempts to redeem himself. Kicks it inside 50. Long up towards the pocket. Jonty Neves goes after it. Snaps around his body. Goalward, but it'll go through for a behind. 1-5-11 Eaglehawk South Bendigo. 1-1-7, 26 minutes gone opening term.
Jonty Neves, of course, had his just about the best day of his footballing career here in 2018, winning the VCFL medal in that Hawks Premiership under Josh Bowe. Miller, long kick out wide, looking for Smith of the Bloods. Brereton slaps it back into traffic. Davies is over the top, hitching a ride upon Billy Evans. And we'll do it all again. Still across half forward here for the Hawks, who lead by 4 points. Spiralling kick inside forward 50 from Walker, is plucked out of the sky by Nick Hall, who read it best in flight, got the mark, and will have a shot from 40 metres out directly in front.
Is it raining out there?
Oh, is it raining?
Gee, he made that look like it was dry. Brilliant mark.
So Nick Hall with the set shot out of the Geelong West Giants. He's kicked the 2 goals so far this season, and he has absolutely stubbed his toe with that. He has kicked that with his sock, and only his sock. There was no foot in the sock. That was a really poor set shot in the end. He looked horribly unbalanced. It goes out of play for a throw in left forward pocket.
Eaglehawk deep into attack. Front position, Neves taps it down. No one gets clean touch of the footy. Eventually the Bloods get a little toe poke out of the congestion. Eaglehawk dancing and weaving. Kick is good. McGlashan has taken the grab. 25, perhaps 30 metres out from goal, directly in front, but a heavy ball dolly, so it'll still test him if the last kick is any indicator.
Yeah, not an easy kick for him. I think the great thing for Eaglehawk there was after Hawes' kick was forget what happened. We got the next contest. Let's win it, and they did. Did it really well.
Well, Cam McGlashan is a player who stuck through Eaglehawk thick and thin for many years, through and through. I think I've made up a new saying. It doesn't matter. That McGlashan has kicked the goal. 2-5-17. South Bendigo 1-1-7. Score sponsor Parsons Towings, Live 25, local fresh footy.
Yep. Yeah, the South defence have had plenty of work to do, and they've been doing it really well, but 7 scoring shots to 2 so far. Jackson just gives an idea of Eaglehawk, who've probably just been on top the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game.
They've owned the territory for much of the first quarter. Cam McGlashan comes straight off for a breather.
Yep.
The former captain. I reckon Zayden Lockwood might be underneath us. It's an interesting development. It's back in the middle. It's going to be a free kick coming to the Bloods here. Looks like he might have busted a finger and he might be off for the evening. That's so lost Matt Cameron, and their replacement ruck might be out for the rest of the game.
Yep.
Collins for the, nearly said for the Hawks, of course the former Hawk for the Bloods, finds Brooks, and now they can set something up inside forward 50 and kick in the Antonovich direction. He rises but can't mark. Zimmerman throws a boot at it. Flying through back the other way was Geddes. And there is no further score to be added to what there is at quarter time. There was a kick before, might have been just after the siren, in fact. The goal umpire signalled it behind, but the field umpire has said no need to worry about that. So no change to the score. At quarter time, it is Eaglehawk 2-5-17 to South Bendigo 1-1-7. So the ladder leaders are on top in this battle of undefeated teams. Anzac Day footy at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. Hope you're enjoying it. We'll be back with more very soon. Live 25, local fresh footy.
When it comes to reducing pain and rebuilding strength, Kaiser leaves nothing to chance. Our university-qualified health professionals don't just treat problem areas, they design personalised training programs using Swiss-engineered machines unique to Kaiser. These machines safely isolate the affected area, test your strength, and help rebuild your muscles for a stronger and healthier life. Kaiser, physiotherapy, rehabilitation, and strength training, building strength with precision.
It's the Bendigo Football Netball League top 5 for round 2. Let's get the party started with number 1, Jack Thompson here from Eaglehawk. Just on the outside of the pack, a beautiful hand pass to find him, and an even better snap to seal the deal. Number 2, it's Tom Strauch here from Golden Square. A tough one this, a bit of a chaos ball in the forward 50. He doesn't give up, sticks out the shoe and dribbles it home.
Came from nowhere, the ball was bobbing around in the goal square, and he just threw a boot at it and popped it through.
Number 3, Zach Bolger here from Eaglehawk. Just a lovely little checkie from the boundary line. Oh yeah. Number 4, it's the fast-moving South Bendigo here. Great work in the contest. Out on the outside to Brady Haddo, who goes on the outside of the shoe and threads it home. And number 5, it's the long bomb from Ryanair from Castlemaine. 55 from home. There it is. Great goal.
50 by Ryanair.
It's time to fire up delicious Dom footy franks. They're made for the footy. Is Dom, is good.
1 quarter in the books at the Queen Elizabeth Oval, Anzac Day footy and netball, and it's Eaglehawk 2-5-17 leading South Bendigo 1-1-7 in the battle of first and third on the table, both undefeated coming into tonight, and the Hawks have the upper hand at the moment. Joel Peterson, Jackson Saunders, Nathan Dole, your call team. Great to have you with us. Live 25, local fresh footy. Goal kickers in that opening term. The 2 number 2s for each team. Brock Harvey for the Bloods has their lone goal. Billy Evans has one for the Hawks. Cam McGlashan added one a little bit later on in the term, but scoring has been hard to come by in these wet and almost wintry conditions. Jackson, who's impressed you for the Hawks?
Billy Evans, Cam McGlashan, Braden Frost, Jack Thompson and Zach Bolger have been the standouts for me so far.
Dolly, you've been casting an eye at the Bloods, who, found themselves in defensive 50 a lot of that first term.
They did, and it was Jack Fallon winning a lot of the ball. Isaiah Miller, Crisp was competing well in the ruck, and Tom Brereton doing well for the Bloods too.
Second quarter about to get underway. Cal Crisp has got a whole lot of mud on his backside at the moment. It's like that kind of evening here at the home of country football. Jesse Collins is going to be awarded a free kick to start this second term. Chips it short to Zimmerman. They have not been able to get any control into the game so far, South Bendigo, which is what they did so well at Gisborne last week. Walker across halfback for the Hawks. Billy Evans swoops in and picks it up. That's a beautiful releasing kick wide as well. And they can build off halfback here. Long kick up the line from McGlashan, coming over the top of the pack. Ben Thompson reaching across, couldn't take the mark. And then it's walked across the line and out of play. It'll be tossed back in. Centre of the pool wing, 2-5-17, 1-1-7. Eaglehawk lead by 10 points earlier today. Big wins to South Bendigo in the under-18s and a narrow one in the reserves by a couple of kicks.
In the ruck contest, Crisp and Frost, no clear winner. Chance for Eaglehawk. First use of the footy. Bennett goes after it. Lots around the footy. Free kick going the way of the Borough. And it'll be taken by O'Shannessy. So he's got it centre wing. Pull side for the Borough up toward half forward. Underneath the marking contest, Walker in the vicinity. South Bendigo in defence. Leading the way is Alex Davis, who helps to create a stoppage. Umpire says play on. They're patient. They try to work it out. Borough inside attack. They're working hard, and it's gone into dispute yet again, and we'll have a ball up. So 25 metres away from goal for Eaglehawk, up towards the city end. And again, another stoppage, and I think we better see, Joel, if you can clear this mess. About 25 out from the Two Blues goal.
Not exactly built like a clearance specialist, Jacko, but I'll do my best. Chris breaches up. Taken away from him by Neves. Hooks it around the body. That's a brilliant finish. Jonty Neves showing all his craft. Takes it out of the ruck solo and kicks the Hawks third of the game. 3-5-23. The Bloods 1-1-7. Early stages, second term. Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers. Live 25 local fresh footy, Nathan Dole.
Yeah, he made that look really easy, Joel, and of course it isn't to do that, to win the ball, but able to fend off an opponent and have time to get the shot, and he just shows how important a player and what a class player he is for the Borough.
Back in the middle for Eaglehawk, Braden Frost will look to go up high. No, Ruckman got hands to it, actually smack bang in the centre. The tackling's good from both sides. Anthony Zimmerman, he goes after it, so too does Lockwood. Ball's in dispute. Umpire blows the whistle. And South Bendigo will take the free kick. They'll send it to half forward. It's messy. It's tapped away by the Borough across half back. Ball's on the outer side. Mud covering some of the players' jumpers. Comes into the centre. O'Shannessy in the long sleeves. Dropped the mark he could have taken. Luke Darling attempts to get clean possession. Leaves the footy behind. About 20 around this contest. Another ball up, about 70 metres out from South Bendigo's goal, headed towards the city end.
Hawks by 16 over on the netball courts. It's the Bloods narrowly 26-23 early in the third term. Should be a cracking game over there. We'll keep you across that. Collins with the clearance for South Bendigo. Tumbles it inside forward 50. Walker left it behind for the Hawks. Sliding in to try and do some damage there was Geddes. He couldn't take it away cleanly. And the Hawks will just punch it outside defensive 50. Free kick paid for an arm across the shoulder in the marking contest. And it is going to go the way of Poyser, who's put it off the instep. A really awkward one for Haddo. On the up to Brereton. They work it out. Brereton gets dragged through the mud in the middle of the ground. Kicks inside the 50. Antonovich claimed it. It bounced before it landed back in his lap. He slid in and was dived upon quickly. And a ball up 40 metres out from the Bloods' goal.
Field umpire John Norton throws the ball aloft. Allen taps it down. Ground level. Zimmerman follows through. Good tackling from the Borough. Ball's locked up 25 metres out from South Bendigo's goal. They need a goal. At the moment, 8 scoring shots to 2 in favour of the Borough. They lead by 16 points.
Blood here. Braden Frost coming off. Charlton and St Arnaud, Jacko, early in the second term. The Blues lead that one 2-6-18 to 2-1-13. So that's one of the games in our region this evening.
Great to have coverage of the North Central Football League. Loving being back in Central Victoria. So much footy across the region. Crowd is terrific here tonight. Despite the wet conditions, people have come to support Anzac evening footy in the Bendigo Football Netball League. Umpire says play on. Zimmerman puts his head over the football. Evans got the clearance. It was a good clearing kick there by Billy. Up towards half back. O'Shannessy dives after it in the long sleeves. Ball comes to Brodie Haddo. Kick around the body. Getting in the way is Eaglehawks' Lachlan Walker. Had support through Billy Evans. They create a stoppage. Ball up right in front of our broadcast position.
For the Hawks, Dolly, Walker and Kennedy, how have you seen them in the early going?
Yeah, they're doing okay. They haven't dominated play, but they're getting their hands on the ball. I like Geddes' effort there, but just before, just able to knock the ball forward. Often it's not take the ball, it's knock it forward, get it going your way.
Jonty Neves looked like he was playing volleyball there. He sort of went for the dig out of the ruck.
He did.
Unconventional.
Yep.
This time he doesn't even do anything with it, just lets him fall at his feet. Crisp takes it away. Here's Nitschke, classy operator, the 4-time Kerrang Premiership player, puts it on the left boot. It skids and rolls out of play in the left forward pocket. It'll be tossed back in. Yeah, Josh Nitschke, so he played in 4 of those flags at Kerrang. He captained the 23 flag and was best on ground on that occasion as well. So he comes with some serious rap style.
Oh, he does. Yep.
Ball's thrown back in. Getting a boot to it was Ty Evans around the body toward half-back. Zimmerman helps to aid it out of bounds in front of the scoreboard for the Bloods, helping to lock it across their forward 50 zone. So we'll have it thrown back in. 7 minutes gone, second term, 5-3, plays 1-1. Eaglehawk lead by 16 points. About 20 gathered around this contest as the ball's thrown back in. In the ruck contest, front position was Callum Crisp. He knocks it forward about 20 metres for the Bloods. And the tackling from Eaglehawk is ferocious once more. Another ball up but closer to South Bendigo's goal.
Defensively, Eaglehawk have been terrific, Jacko, where Antonovitz and Harvey, the big danger players for them, they haven't really had much of an impact so far.
Yeah, Jacob O'Brien and Aidan Hanley and Dylan Hanley doing a good job down there. Of course, no Charlie Langford, who's on the bench for Eaglehawk this evening, out with a minor hamstring complaint. No Matt Cameron for South Bendigo, and they're a player down with Zayden Lockwood leaving the game early with a finger injury. So tough sledding from here. They trail by 16 points at the moment. Going the round arm again was Neves. Zimmerman takes it out of the pack. Flying shot toward goal. He's left a long way narrow and out of bounds on the full. And so it looks like it will be Billy Evans to bring it back into play. The Hawks skipper. Of course, played a lot of his junior footy here with the Sandhurst Football Club before going off to the Brisbane Lions and Box Hill, and then coming back to Eaglehawk, and what a career he's made for himself in the Two Blues. Just tries to nurse a kick outside the defensive 50 here. Target was Nick Thompson, couldn't take the mark. Evans has got it again inside the defensive 50. Billy Evans' kick down the line toward Bennett. Bennett handballs off out wide. Donnett had a play at it, pushed off it by Hare. Hare slides back in for the Bloods, close to the boundary line in front of the grandstand. Both teams just firing bodies in at the football. They can't be separated. John Norton crosses the arms and says, ball up, centre wing, broadcast side.
One of the most experienced umpires in Bendigo footy. Knocked down by Frost, stolen by Chris, snap around the body for South Bendigo to half forward, Alex Smith. He taps it, but it's intercepted by Ty Evans. Not for long though, back to Jack Fallon, kick inside 50. Eaglehawk have got numbers back, and they do well on the last line of defence. It's Nick Thompson who's got the footy, chips it over the top for Ben Thompson. So the Thompsons combine. If in doubt, call Thompson tonight. Ben Thompson goes long, up towards half-back. Evans attempts to get clean possession. Can't do so. Max Kennedy does. Hand pass goes astray. The Bloods with an opportunity. Hand pass was erratic from Zach Hare. Centre of the ground, just north of our commentary position, in front of the grandstand. 3-5-23 Eaglehawk, South Bendigo 1-1-7.
2 rules for tonight, Jacko. If in doubt, it's out of bounds on the fall, and Thompson kicked it. Ball goes out here, not out of bounds on the fall. It'll be tossed back in. And guess who gave the ball back to the boundary umpire?
Thompson.
Exactly.
Darren
Thompson. So the 5th Thompson, the runner for Eaglehawk, getting involved in the game. Ball slapped out in ruck for the Bloods. Rusbridge had it. He got a kick away somehow, fashioned it to Collins. Nitschke left it behind for Zimmerman. Handball a little bit too hot for Smith. It somehow finds itself inside forward 50 for the Bloods. Smith wants it to come out. It's not doing anything right now. 45 metres out from the South Bendigo goal. City end here at the QEO. Will Allen rushes across to go up in ruck against Frost. Nitschke had a play at it. Free kick, high contact. Going to the Two Blues. And it'll be Jack Donnett to take it from inside defensive 50 for the Hawks. 3-5-23, plays 1-1-7. No scoring. Hawks, in fact, have kicked the only goal of this second term so far. We're 10.5 through, live 25, local fresh footy.
Donnett joins the Two Blues from Kahuna in the Central Murray Football League this year, searching for Bolger. Ball's knocked away from him into dispute. ball up. So centre square to the grandstand side. Rain continues to team down here at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. Frost knocks it down in the ruck contest. Swatton, he's bobbed up since I last saw him. Sheer strength. Hand pass goes up towards centre half forward. And now free kick again.
Reckon he'd
for
enjoy you
Harvey.
saying that too, Jacko.
I'm sure he would. Harvey, that's an absolute roost. Went right to the tip of the goal square. Off hands, little toe poke. Perhaps it didn't work out as desired for Will Allen through for a rush behind.
So 15 points the margin. 12 played second term. The Hawks will waste no time. Bring it back into play. Long wide kick. They can nurse it off half back here. Jack Thompson's kick down the line. Into traffic. Crisp slides in. Can't take it. Billy Evans waiting for it to come out. Eventually it does. Horse scoots onto it for the Hawks. Clean pick up in the greasy conditions. Handball only as far as Miller. He got caught with the footy for the Bloods. Got the handball away. And then it's dragged back in. Isaiah Miller had to turn tackler and right half forward for the Hawks. Kicking the Barnard Street end in this second term and leading by 15 points. We'll have a ball up. Squirts back toward Hare for the Bloods. Bangs it on the boot as far as he can. Up the line. Nitschke the target. Zimmerman kept it alive. Slaps it back intelligently to Fallon. Now over the top. Zimmerman was the target of the hand pass. It was hacked away from him out toward the boundary line. Off hands and over. City wing pool, or the centre of the pool wing. It'll be tossed back into play.
No need to go for a swim this evening to get wet. Just cover the QEO. Bring the togs as well, perhaps. Ball's tossed back in out of side. Crisp and Frost. Crisp won that battle, knocked it down decisively. The Burrow with a takeout toward centre half forward. Gee, it's messy. That kick, I don't know how to describe it. It was a look away kick to space to centre wing. In front of Eaglehawks. O'Brien, who helps to guide it towards the boundary line. It's still in. Only just. So let's have a ball up.
Let's try to describe it. The ball's essentially bounced over Isaiah Miller's shoulder and he never took possession of it. He just sort of guided it down onto his foot with his one hand. That was extraordinary.
He did it really well.
He did indeed. Chance for Jesse Collins. He can't get clean use of the ball. And it's still on centre wing. We'll attempt to clear it this time.
So Frost in ruck for the Hawks. Crisp reaches over the top of him. Ricochets back to Crisp. Look at Billy Evans just carve his path through the stoppage. Handball off to Sam Thompson. Now to Bennett. Tumbles a kick down the line for the Hawks in the grandstand side. Up toward half forward. O'Shaughnessy is up to meet it. And he can't keep it in. It'll be tossed back in. 65 around from the Hawks goal in front of the old site that is no longer the South Bendigo social rooms where a lot of the Hawks fans used to gather back in the day, Dolly, for grand finals and the like.
Yep, one-eyed hill.
That was their part of the ground. No doubt it still is.
Yep.
So the Hawks under pressure at the moment. Haddo's kick up the line for the Bloods. Crashing his way toward that pack there is Davies in the green boots for South Bendigo. Haddo kicked it about 3 metres. Antonovic up to meet it. Hasn't seen a lot of it so far. And the ball spills over and out of play for a throw-in right in front of our broadcast position. Eaglehawk 3-5-23. South Bendigo 1-2-8. Round 3 in Bendigo footy. We're 15 minutes into the second term.
I think there was a historic reason for Eaglehawk congregating there. I'll come to that when there's a moment. Chance for Braden Frost. Kick up towards half forward. Lots around the football. Neves. He goes off the deck. Topo clever from O'Shaughnessy. Deep inside 50. 20 metres out from the Burrows goal. Good tackling. South Bendigo. They've cut the footy up. Penalty for holding the ball. Eaglehawk to take the free kick. And it's in the arms of Jack O'Shaughnessy, who's looking for his first major of the night. The reason, Dolly, I'm pretty sure that was where the tram was, wasn't it, on Barnard Street end? For Eaglehawk to catch the tram.
Yep, that's
all
right.
the way to the borough, the greater part of Bendigo, as some of the locals love to describe it.
Yep, here we go. O'Shaughnessy for goal here.
Directly in front, 20 metres out, off the left boot, never looked like missing. And that's the fourth major for Eaglehawk. 4-5-29 they advance to South Bendigo. 1-2-8. Score sponsor, Aussie Disposals, Live 25, local fresh footy.
That there is just about not giving up. I mean, it was a brilliant effort by Zach Hare, the way he scooped up with one hand and looked to be away, and O'Shannessy just timed his lunge and got him. And yeah, that probably for Eaglehawk, that's against the run of play. It's been at South's attacking end for a lot of time. They haven't been able to get the goals they need, and Eaglehawk get a really important goal.
Yeah, well summarised, Dolly. That was absolutely relentless from young Jack O'Shannessy, the Oyen United product, who's made his way down to the Bendigo Pioneers into the Hawks. Now, third season playing some senior footy with Eaglehawk, and he looks a real prospect up forward. Billy Evans had to play it in the middle of the ground. Hack kick out of there. Ends up with Poyser, who darts it inside the 50 through the hands of Walker. Antonovich out the back. The rain coming down now just about as hard as it has all evening. Slinging the kick around the body was Nitschke. It's ended up in the lap of Donnet, who's at fullback for Eaglehawk. In fact, it's Jack Thompson who's got the footy for the Borough. He sends it out wide. It's come off hands, and it'll be thrown back into play out in front of the netball courts. The rain is really teeming down. It's absolutely set in. So it looks like we're going to get every bit of what was forecast. 21-point Hawks lead, 17.5 gone in this second term. Live 25, local fresh footy.
Will Allen taps it down in the direction of Jack Fallon. Kick inside 50 from Nitschke, deep, off hands, 20 out from the Bloods goal. Pirouette, exceptional. Davies snaps. Antonovich goal square, drops the mark, off hands, behind.
That deserved a goal, Jacko. The way he was able to spin out of trouble there. But Eaglehawk, geez, they're well organised in their back six.
Really experienced players down there. 20-point margin the way of the Hawks. This time it's Donnet who whacks it in from fullback, goes for a bit of a gallop, kicks out toward the pool side, off hands. It ends up with Swatton, who put the hand pass behind his teammate. Now they've got some work to do, the Bloods. Miller tumbles the kick to the edge of the 50. Davies was clean again. Oh, Brereton got poleaxed in the tackle. He had one coming from behind him and one in front of him. It was Billy Evans who he ran into. And Tommy Brereton, who is made of hard stuff, has a free kick 45 metres out directly in front.
He'll be kicking from just inside 50, won't he, Joel?
Yep.
It's going to be a tough kick for him.
He'll be kicking a cinder block's the problem, Dolly. That is a waterlogged Sharon at the moment.
Yep.
And they've only got the one tall target back, so they've got some faith in the leg here of Tom Brereton from right on the 50. It won't have the carry. Nitschke goes up on the goal line. Kennedy's there. I think both teams needed some more representation, and in the end, in fact, it was Allen who went up on the goal line. The free kick's gone against the Bloods, and the Hawks through Evans will just waltz it outside the defensive 50.
He got it off Max Kennedy. Evans searches for O'Shannessy, can't find him. Poyser for South Bendigo has support through Isaiah Miller, and they help to create a stoppage. The effects, Mike, creating a beautiful atmosphere here tonight. You can hear the energy in the crowd. I reckon the Bendigo Creek will be like a river by the night's end. Ball's thrown up very close to the boundary line, and it does go out right in front of the interchange gates. 4-5-29 Eaglehawk. South Bendigo 1-3-9. 20 minutes eluded in this second term. Score sponsor Parsons Towing's Live 25 local fresh footy.
Joel Peterson, Jackson Saunders, Nathan Dole, your call team. Great to have you with us. Of course, more footy coming your way tomorrow from Wade Street in Golden Square from 1:30. Free kick against Jesse Collins here at the stoppage for the Bloods. Going the way of Frost. Handball off to Walker. Left foot kick for Walker inside the forward 50. And the mark is taken by Holmes, who judged it beautifully. The kick was just inside the boundary line, and the co-coach accepts it into his chest. He'll have a 45-metre kick from tight on the chalk.
I'll tip him to kick the goal. Here we go, for can of Coke on this.
All right, I like it. So Clayton Holmes, he's going to have to kick from maybe a step inside the boundary line. It'll be a 45-metre kick. He lines it up. He drives it toward goal, and he's not missed that by a lot, Dolly. He's not missed that by a lot. Minus score, 4-6-30 to 139. Eaglehawk by 21 points. 21 gone second term.
Maxwell Smart, wasn't it? Missed by that much.
Yeah.
Yep, but a great mark by the big fella.
I thought you had your soft drink for a moment. Miller brings the ball back into play. And it's in the back pocket. They'll hug it down the boundary line, the Bloods, and that's out of bounds on the full. So on the outer side, swimming pool side, Eaglehawk have the footy. Back turn to us is...
It's Joel Mullen, I reckon.
Joel Mullen, thank you.
Jock Clark would say, it's a million miles away from us.
So Mullen sends it up to 20 metres out from goal. Off hands, front position was O'Shaughnessy, but the ball's been knocked out 20 metres out from the goal line for Eaglehawk. Right forward pocket. Most players in the front 50 for the two Blues or in that nearby vicinity. Ball's thrown back in. After it is Holmes. South Bendigo with the clearance though. It was good. Brereton long up towards centre wing. Chopped off again though, and Eaglehawk will send it back inside, attacking 50.
It's Donna who's got the footy. He's been good so far for the Hawks, had plenty of it. A long high right foot kick inside the forward 50. Gee, didn't Holmes get a rise on the pack? And then waltzing into the pocket was Billy Evans up against the boundary line, trying to hook it back on the right boot, left it to the right-hand side. 22-point margin, 4-7, plays 1-3. Hawks well and truly in control. 22 minutes played in the second term. Score sponsor, Jason Westcott, build a Live 25 local fresh footy.
Alex Smith opts to kick about 60 metres to the grandstand side wing. Penetrating delivery, hoping for Zimmerman. He finds it now. He'll be chased down from behind. A magnificent tackle by Eaglehawks. Max Kennedy take a bow. That was beautiful to observe. Max Kennedy off the right boot, sends it toward left half forward. Fisted away by the Bloods in defence. Kick though by Evans, advances the footy to 25 metres out from the Boroughs goal. In defence, Swatton courageously for the Bloods, puts his head over it. Was he caught high? Umpire says yes, and he'll take the free
No, it's going
kick.
the other way.
It's gone the other way. Well, no, I think there's confusion aplenty. Umpire pointed the wrong way, I think, for a moment. It's definitely South Bendigo's free in defence.
It's going to be Alex Davis back there. Hands it off to Isaiah Miller. He whacks the Bloods outside the defensive 50. They trail by 22 points. 23 and a half gone in the second term. Live 25 local fresh footy. Haddo's kick smothered by Billy Evans. Got it back to McGlashan. Kicks the Hawks back inside the forward 50. Who's there at ground level? O'Shaughnessy was waiting for it to come out. So was Jack Thompson. And this time this is going to be an Eaglehawk free kick in that contest. And it is this time going to Clayton Holmes. So the square up. And Clayton Holmes should have no worries with the accurate or the distance. Slight angle left of centre. It'll be a kick of about 40 metres for a 28-point lead to the Hawks, which in the conditions will be awfully tough to run down. The coach, he likes it off the boot and lets them know about it. Clayton Holmes slots his first for the season. And the Hawks are out by 28. 5-7-37, plays 1-3-9. We've played 24 and a half in the second term. Live 25, local fresh footy. Score sponsor, Don Smallgoods. He's Don. He's good.
He's having a terrific quarter, Clayton Holmes. He's marking, he's competing really well. And that's probably the thing on a night where you're probably not going to take a lot of marks in your forward 50, but just getting it to ground level. And that one there, putting his head over the ball, earning the free.
Do you like him up forward as opposed to down back?
I like it. I think it's terrific. Yep. I think it's been great for him so far.
Out of the centre, Nick Thompson for Eaglehawk. Evans. It's 40 metres out from the Boroughs goal. Pocket, McGlashan, right foot kick, top of the goal square, off hands. In fact, Holmes became the defender there in attack and knocked it through for a rushed behind. 4 unanswered goals now. In fact, for Eaglehawk, so they are dominating play.
Yep, absolutely they are. McCarvey kicked the only goal for South Bendigo. At the 21-minute mark of the first term, it's been all the Hawks since, and it was really all the Hawks before that as well. Long kick out for the Bloods. Walker took it, and he was tackled by Rusbridge. And now that rain's just started to ease off a little bit, it opened up for Antonovich for a moment, but Hanley was right there with him, was Dylan Hanley. His handball into the centre of the ground, picked up by Swatton, who swoops away with it. Off to Antonovich, back to Swatton. Handball inside the forward 50. Nitschke was there. Smith's out the back. This has to work for South Bendigo inside forward 50. And again, the Hawks are able to mop up. McGlashan to Donnett. Handball out wide, and they stream off half back. Neat kick infield from Kennedy. Found Billy Evans, who's had an absolute plethora of it. Kick into the centre of the ground. All the Bloods now. They can set this up. Collins comes out looking for Rusbridge. Running past the footballer was Neves. Billy Evans is there again. Got bustled over by Rusbridge. Picked up by Neves. Handball out to Walker at half-back for the Hawks. He runs into a wall of red and white jumpers. It's still in dispute at half-back. Now a centering kick into the middle. Fallon had a play on it. Antonovich is up to meet it. He hooks it around the corner in the tackle. Back inside forward 50 for the Bloods. Now it's Allen. It is frenetic stuff at the moment. There is no respite out there for either side. Kennedy finds some safety in the boundary line as he goes slipping and sliding across, and it'll be thrown back in. Right half forward, Bloods into attack. 27 gone second term, live 25. Local fresh footy. It is the Hawks by 29.
It's an entertaining game to observe. Both sides giving it their all, that's for sure. From the boundary throw-in, good effort applied by Joel Swatton. Hand pass inside 50. Kick came. Brock Harvey received. And he's got the footy about 45 metres out from goal, 45-degree angle. He's already kicked one, and Dolly, an opportunity for him to get the Blood second.
Yeah, well, the work rate by South, you can't fault the effort by them. They just haven't been able to get shots on goal. So certainly the Bloods fans will all be riding this kick.
And the rain is still constant, but it's like a drizzle compared to what it was. It's been teeming for most of this contest. Chance for Harvey. It'll test him. Looks good at the approach. Beginning and finish is second to none. That's his second major. South Bendigo go to 2-3-15. Eaglehawk 5-8-38. Dying stages of this opening half. Score sponsor, Jason Westcott Builder. Live 25. Local fresh footy. Here's Nathan Dole.
Yeah, the sort of player that doesn't need a lot of opportunities to really hurt you. He hasn't had many kicks, but he's got 2 goals. I think Antonovich is moving up more to midfield in the last few minutes and getting involved. And Joel Swatton, the work he did to get the ball going South's way was terrific. Him and Evans, it's been a great battle. I'd say honours going Evans' way though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a ripper of a battle. The Castlemaine coach Michael Hartley just popping in to have a look at proceedings this evening as well. Back in the middle, Brodie Haddo chasing after the football. Poises there, he's pushed off it. No surprise to see Billy Evans around it as well. Isaiah Miller keeping a close eye on the Hawks co-captain. They've got a ball up. Frost absolutely threw Cal Crisp to the ground, and then Ben Thompson threw Joel Swatton to the ground, and the umpire paid the free kick for the second one. So Thompson will take it from right on halfway for the Hawks. Kicks out to right half forward. It's through the hands of his teammate there in Hall, who was able to stand up in the tackle. Got the handball away to Frost. Curling, grubbing kick inside the forward 50. Holmes there with Davis. 2 hard nuts. Oh, and then a big bump was laid inside forward 50 for the Hawks. Couple of players down after that one. It was Cam McGlashan for Eaglehawk, who came in and laid a really heavy bump on the South Bendigo player in Tom Brereton, who's been in the Hawks tonight as Tommy B. He's up now and he's going to take his kick, but he's still on his haunches a little bit. Margin is 22 points, 30 minutes gone second term, live 25 local fresh footy. The Hawks in control.
They are, but South Bendigo with this possession work it to half back, and Allen has got the footy, almost getting towards the defensive side of centre wing. Allen with the long kick, pokes it down the boundary line with the kick. Whistle blown, free kick to the Bloods.
Gee, I'd love to sneak one here.
Yep, they would indeed. Kick comes from Harvey up to half forward. So Haddo in those long sleeves, inside 50 with the kick. Have they spotted someone? They have.
Yep.
Good grab
It's about the first bit of time Antonovich has had separation tonight.
He snaps Antonovich up towards the tip of the goal square, off hands, Davies, right forward pocket, Eaglehawk in defence, clearing kick around the body, Evans up towards O'Shanassy. O'Shanassy struggles, so too does Bennett. It's across half back, Thompson, hand pass over the top, Ben Thompson now, intercepting, Nitsky, siren, half time, Eaglehawk lead, 5-8-38, South Bendigo 2-3-15, a long quarter, 31 minutes, and I think it'll be a much earned and desired for break after a pretty tough opening half with the torrential rain.
Yeah, it's been a taxing opening half for both of these teams, no doubt about that. Clayton Holmes getting involved in that second term. All single goal kickers for the Hawks. It is Brock Harvey who's got both of South Bendigo's goals. Dolly, a quick comment on what we've seen in this first half.
Yeah, I think just Eaglehawks work rate. They've been, obviously 13 shots on goal to 5 just shows their dominance. But I think it's their defensive efforts. I mean, their back six or those that are getting into their back half have worked really, really hard. South had their chances, probably limited opportunities at times, but they'd probably want to get the first or come out in the second half and get a couple of early goals and really put the heat back on the Borough.
Thoughts of Nathan Dole with us, Live 25 local fresh footy. Plenty more to come after the halftime break. We'll keep you up to date with the other games happening around Central Victoria this evening. The netball as well should be a terrific A-grade clash as we go throughout the course of the evening, and of course the second half here. As we go to the half, it is Eaglehawk 5-8-38 to South Bendigo 2-3-15. Don't go away, more very soon. Live 25 local fresh footy. It is half-time at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. Anzac Day footy and netball in round 3 of the Bendigo Football Netball League. Live 25 local fresh footy match day sponsors. Don Smallgoods is Don is good. Jason Westcott Builder, Aussie Disposals, Bendigo City Framers and Parsons Towing, Castlemaine. Joel Peterson, Jackson Saunders and Nathan Dole with you half-time in the senior footy. It's Eaglehawk 5-8-38 to South Bendigo 2-3-15. A couple of teams that came into this game undefeated, and it's been the Hawks who have had the better of the play so far in this one. All single goal kickers for Eaglehawk: Billy Evans, Jack O'Shaughnessy, Cam McGlashan, Johnsy Neves and Clayton Holmes, who got very involved in that second term. For the Bloods, only one goal kicker. Brock Harvey's got a couple. He kicked one in the first and steered home a very nice set shot late in the piece in that second term. They couldn't get much more going, the Bloods. They had a couple of chances late. Ball inside forward 50 to end the quarter, but they could not capitalise. No Matt Cameron out there for South Bendigo tonight. No Charlie Langford for Eaglehawk, and Zayden Lockwood, who was the...
When it comes to reducing pain and rebuilding strength, Keyser leaves nothing to chance. Our university-qualified health professionals don't just treat problem areas. They design personalised training programs using Swiss-engineered machines unique to Keyser. These machines safely isolate the affected area, test your strength, and help rebuild your muscles for a stronger and healthier life. Keyser. Physiotherapy, rehabilitation and strength training. Building strength with precision.
It's the Bendigo Football Netball League top 5 for round 2. Let's get the party started with number 1. Jack Thompson here from Eaglehawk. Just on the outside of the pack, a beautiful hand pass to find him and an even better snap to seal the deal. Number 2, it's Tom Strauch here from Golden Square. A tough one this, a bit of a chaos ball in the forward 50. He doesn't give up, sticks out the shoe and dribbles it home.
Came from nowhere, the ball was bobbing around in the goal square, he just threw a boot at it and popped it through.
Number 3, Zach Bolger here from Eaglehawk. Just a lovely little checkie from the boundary line. Oh yeah. Number 4, it's the fast-moving South Bendigo here. Great work in the contest. Out on the outside to Brady Haddo, who goes on the outside of the shoe and threads it home. And number 5, it's the long bomb from Ryanair from Castlemaine. 55 from home. There it is. Great goal.
50 by Ryanair.
Impressed me, Joel, is that the tackling of both teams has been terrific. We haven't had too many players caught high in tackles, which sometimes can happen in the wet conditions, and also just their work in getting numbers, not getting too many in and being able to get to get to a player. And Eaglehawk's defensive work has been terrific so far.
It's been great to watch. They lead by 23 points at the half-time break, 5-8-38 to 2-3-15. South Bendigo back out there to start this second half. The Hawks are still in the sheds. If you are Jack Fallon and Troy Coates at half-time, Dolly, what do you... How is the recipe you found at the end of that second term with Antonovich a little bit higher up the ground getting involved? Is that where you sort of your starting point for this second half?
I would think so, yeah. Probably even start him at half forward across centre half forward. Probably playing deep. It doesn't really suit him in these conditions because of the wet conditions and the ball skidding away from him and so on. But get him up and around to play, and him even 30 to 40 metres from goal is dangerous, as Brock Harvey has been able to do a couple of times. Hasn't had a lot of chances. So, yeah, that's probably the thing that they've got to look at is their forward 50 entries and where they're actually their starting point is what you want to be. You don't want to be too far away from the kicker as such.
Interesting last week, that sort of the numbers, so the Premier data numbers that came out of the South Bendigo game, said they were negative 17 for clearances, negative 7 for contested possessions, negative 19 for disposals overall, and had 10 less inside 50s than Gisborne. But they had 18 more contested marks. They had more marks overall. Watching that game back, they controlled the game. And clearly with the conditions tonight, we've had 14 mil of rain today in Bendigo out at the airport. Yep, they just haven't been able to put any tempo into the contest.
Yes, that's right. And that's probably the thing with the weather, that if you're wanting to play this high possession game and chip it around and get marks, it's not a night that suits marking as such. We haven't had too many marks inside 50. I'm not sure what the stats would be, but Eaglehawk have had a few. Holmes has taken some great marks, and McGlashan. Harvey has taken 1 or 2 for South, but not too many marks inside 50 for either team.
It's been the really gilt-edged chances have been pretty hard to come by, and of course now, in a taxing evening, Jacko, the Bloods are a player down on the bench as well, and that's not going to help.
No. The rain has eased substantially at the beginning of this third term. Like, it's still consistent, more than drizzle, quite a lot more than drizzle, but given what it was in the opening quarter and a half of footy, it was almost torrential.
And given the conditions we're looking at, and the wet ground, and there hasn't been much wet weather footy played in the past. Even last season there weren't too many wet weather games. So in that respect, the standard of footy, given the conditions, it's been terrific.
And I also wonder if in the old days perhaps wet weather would bring sides close together, but now perhaps it exacerbates the better side, potentially, is the way I observe the way footy's going these days.
Gone another big word. What's that one? Exacerbates.
Correct.
Oh, gee.
Have we got time to see if you can spell that, Jeff?
I think he spelled it.
I'll get to it when we need to pad. I can.
Here we go.
Third quarter about to get underway. Two teams undefeated coming in tonight. Hawks by 23. Here's Jackson Saunders.
So we're underway. Eaglehawk with the takeout. Chance across half forward. O'Brien slung around off the footy. Swatton comes to him. He was surely caught high for South Bendigo. He was at centre half back. And Joel Swatton will take the free kick for the Bloods. Waits, considers options, opts to go to the commentary side of the ground. Take poise at his intended target. Ball fisted away by Clayton Holmes. After it also, once more, is Tom Brereton. He gets the footy now. Combines well with Poiser. Up toward centre wing. Grandstand side. Spinning around is James Davies. He's creative. He's looking for Harvey. And Tonowich also in the vicinity. Eaglehawk with numbers in defence. They get hands to it. They'll clear Evans to half-back. Kick was good, and they've found Joel Mullen across half-back.
Interesting little subplot here. The Hawks have only got 3 on the bench, and one of the trainers is in conversation with the ambulance, the paramedics that are on the other side of the ground for Eaglehawk. So that's just something to watch as we start this second half. Ball fisted out of play in front of the grandstand. It'll be tossed back in. So just reading between the lines, one of the paramedics is now walking up into the Hawks room. So might see if we can grab some intel from the Hawks crew who are down in front of us. Kick up toward half forward is marked by Holmes. Neves wants it out in front of him. Holmes kicks it a little bit deeper than that, and it wasn't the hit in the end. Jonty Neves turns around and says, "No, I wanted it in the other pocket, Clayton." And you got to be brave doing that to your co-coach as well. 5-9-39 to 2-3-15. The margin is 24 points as we start this third term. We're 2 minutes in. Live 25 local fresh footy. Score sponsor Jason Westcott Builder.
Bold would be the word I'd use to describe that.
Yes.
Behaviour. Zach Hare searching for Swatton. Misses him. Getting in the way is Jack Donat. He did well. He had support through Max Kennedy. A high ball to half forward. Off hands. Comes to O'Shaughnessy. O'Shaughnessy kicks a major, and that is his second. Eaglehawk 6-9, 45. They lead South Bendigo 2-3-15. Score sponsor Jason Westcott Builder. Live 25 local fresh footy.
Again, just making the most of opportunities, Jackson. Where ball off. Falling off the contest as such and just getting to the right spot. He well roved it and kicked it really well too. Talking to positional, looking at positional moves, you got Fallon starting up in South's forward line, which had spent the first half in defence.
So ball about to get underway again. sending spies downstairs just to see what the situation is with Eaglehawk and the three on the bench. Billy Evans out of the middle. Kennedy's there for the Hawks, crashing his way through. Is Jack Thompson, really terrific, hard stuff. Won the footy for the Hawks. Brereton's there. He's been in the thick of it this evening. Handball out wide. Getty's sliding out toward the boundary line. Can't keep it in. And it'll be tossed back in right underneath us, where Trav Matheson tosses the ball back to the boundary umpire. 6-9-45, plays 2-3-15. 5 straight kicks the margin. 3.5 gone third term, live 25. Local fresh footy, Joel Peterson, Jackson Saunders and Nathan Dole with you on Anzac Day at the QEO. Nitschke takes it off the pack. He's run down by O'Shannessy, who's really having an impact on this contest. And Jack O'Shannessy, the laconic left footer, he might take his customary couple of steps into it and sink the slipper through it from 50. Doesn't look all that confident in the trip. Now he's going to go back and settle over his kick. He'll have to kick from right on the edge of the arc. O'Shannessy gives it some airtime. It'll go right to the line. Neves is up. It's off hands and it scoots through for a minor score. 31 points the margin. Hawks on top. 4 minutes played third term. Score sponsor, Parsons Towing.
Kicking duties for South Bendigo, Jack Fallon. In fact, it's Isaiah Miller with that responsibility. Kicks long up to half back for the Bloods. Here's a chance for Eaglehawks. Frost inside 50 with the kick. It's in the pocket. It's about 35 metres out from their goal. Evans tackled, swat and lurking. Umpire says free kick, South Bendigo holding the ball. And so it'll be a penalty free kick. The Bloods in their defensive zone. 2-3-15. They trail Eaglehawk 6-10. The kick from half-back will come from Poyser up towards half-back. Swimming pool side, it's locked up once more. And about 20 around the contest under those beautiful peppercorn trees, which are providing some comfort for patrons this evening.
Probably a few large drops of rain, I'd imagine, as well. Ty Evans around the body from the stoppage. Hooks the kick inside forward 50 for the Hawks. Brereton's there. Well done from Darling, who kicked it out of bounds on the full. So he skewed that one off the side of the boot and straight into the boundary fence. Kennedy for the Hawks. In fact, it comes to Kennedy now. It came all of about 6 metres on the bounce to him. He kicks to the pocket. It's thwacked away by Alex Davis. Spills to Brereton inside defensive 50 for the Bloods. Slap back into play. Walker doing brilliantly. Runs to the left forward pocket. Hooks it around. Back on goal. Misses near side. 1 minor score, 32 points the margin, 6 gone third term. Score sponsor Don Smallgoods, he's Don is good. The update from Eaglehawk, Norm Jenkin went down, had a chat to Trav Matheson. Cam McGlashan is the player who isn't out there. Of course, he had that heavy collision with Tom Brereton in that second term, and it looks like maybe a concussion for Cam McGlashan. So misses the rest of the game. He'll miss next week as well.
Long ball in front of our broadcast position, intended for James Davies. Nitschke does well. Kick around the body from Zimmerman, hugs the boundary line, off hands. The intended target was Will Allen, but it was fisted away from him. And we'll have a boundary throw, and exacerbated, by the way, EXACERBATE. If you want to look it up, happy to be publicly corrected for my spelling or improvisation of words here on Live 25 Local Fresh Footy. What a boundary throw-in.
What does it mean, Jacko?
It means to exaggerate, to make worse the situation.
Oh, okay, rightio.
That's the way I'd describe it, Dolly.
Yep.
Back in the centre of the ground, another tackle there. Ferocious at the moment with those decisions. And the tackling is intense. Jake Rusbridge was rewarded there. He applied a terrific tackle. Centre wing, grandstand side for the Bloods.
Played his footy with Bridgewater before coming to South Bendigo. No stranger to the red and white jumper. Turnover there, picked up by Kennedy for the Hawks. Socket intelligently off the ground by Bolger, who gains some space. Right forward pocket. Neves is there. Can he keep it alive? Darling with him every step of the way. Jonty picked it up. He threw his boot at it. He couldn't make contact. It spills away from him. Now Geddes in defence for the Bloods. Tumbles the kick out only as far as Angove. His centering ball. It'll bounce and sit kindly for Bolger. Runs onto it 40 metres out from goal for the Hawks. And then he lost the run of the football. Nitschke. Handball away to Haddo off half-back for South Bendigo. He just overcooked the kick a little bit for Davies. Rushing back there in defence. The Borough have numbers. O'Brien camped over the top of it. Davies drags it underneath him. Umpire says mine, and we're going to have a ball up. Just forward of halfway. Bloods into attack. They trail by 32. It's all the Hawks. 8 gone, third term. Live 25 local fresh footy.
Collins in the vicinity. Crisp taps it down delightfully. And then it's lost in the thick of players around the contest. So many going after it. We have to admire the commitment of players from both sides today. So it's on the outer side. Evans with the footy. Goes to centre wing. Walker hugging the boundary line. They are on that outer side. And Kennedy there too. Ball's gone out of bounds. And so we'll need it thrown back in. 6-11 is the score for Eaglehawk. South Bendigo 2-3. 9 minutes gone in this premiership term, as it's renowned traditionally in footy.
Ball tossed back in. Crisp for the Bloods. Wins it down. Socket off the ground by Billy Evans. Gains 20 metres. Straight to Zach Hare, the opposition captain. Now to Haddo, who blasts it forward for the Bloods. Up in the pack there. Smith trying to take the mark. Now it comes to him at ground level. Left foot kick inside the forward 50 to open space. Running up and presenting at the footy was Davies. Couldn't take the mark. Laid a terrific tackle on Donut at ground level. And it's locked up inside forward 50 for the Bloods. 35 out from their goal. Left forward pocket. They trail by 32. 10 minutes gone in this third term. The Rucks rush over to contest this one. Crisp slaps it down toward the boundary line. Collins is there for the Bloods. That still feels weird to say when he's playing against Eaglehawk. He can't come away with it. We're going to have a ball up inside forward 50 for South.
Straight into the path of South Bendigo's Rusbridge, who kicks goalward but misses out of bounds in the full. And so the free kick will be taken by Aidan Hanley. Once visited elderly lady with the surname Hanley in Shepparton, and she thought I was the podiatrist when I came in to see her, so, which was a memorable encounter for me. It
must have been memorable to recount it now, Jacko.
So that's right. Oh well, namesake, I suppose. She was a funny lady. Dear old Maureen Hanley, who's gone to God. Now the ball's at the outer side. And it's difficult to pick up in these wet conditions. Dark too at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. Ball inside, attacking 50. Eaglehawk with the clearance up towards the centre of the ground. Chopped off though by Brereton. He's got it 2 kicks out from goal. Spears it. Zimmerman got it on the half volley. Whistle blown, free kick to the Borough. They take the clearance. Here's a chance. O'Shaughnessy's got it on the outer side wing.
Blasts it forward toward Billy Evans inside the forward 50. Good defence there from Poyser, who just scrambles it outside for the Bloods. He held up well there, did young Tate Poyser. He was caught in an awful position, but was able to draw the 50-50 and then repel the danger, at least for now. It's out for a throw-in. 6-11-47 the Hawks. 2-3-15 South Bendigo. Bloods have not led at any stage this evening. It's been powerful stuff from this Eaglehawk team. After stoppage, Geddes. Oh, Holmes is coming! And when Clayton Holmes is coming, you need to watch out! He runs down Brereton at half-back. Wins the free kick for the Hawks. Kicks to the pocket. Evans slides in. Poyser's right there with him. Picks it up. Hooks it around the body. Mullen almost there for the Hawks. Lunging and stretching before Walker's escorted across the boundary line by Rusbridge. And we'll have it thrown in at left half forward. Still Eaglehawk in attack.
The run-down tackles by the Borough. They've been terrific all night at that.
They have very much so. The thoughts of Nathan Dole in this round 3 clash. Kicked by Collins up to centre wing is good. Ground level. Ty Evans sends it to half forward, close to the boundary line. The Borough go toward the pocket. Chance for O'Shaughnesy. Eludes him in defence. Miller snaps it around his body. Will he clear? He won't. Eaglehawk managed to keep it in. Sheer numbers. Stoppage. Ball up.
Hey, Dola, we thought the A-grade netball would be good tonight.
Yep.
It was good.
There?
It was a draw.
A draw. There we go.
47 apiece between South Bendigo and Eaglehawk.
That's a high-scoring game too for netball in these conditions.
Absolutely, it is.
Yep.
Has there been a free kick here
Free
to
kick
Mullen?
paid, yeah.
It is Joel Mullen indeed.
I think caught high in the contest.
So Joel Mullen will take the shot at goal. Rain is continuous here. His kick off the right boot is going to fall short. It's at the tip of the goal square, and it's been fortuitously marked by Jack O'Shaughnessy, who has already kicked 2 goals this evening. He is the only multiple goal scorer in this contest for Eaglehawk. Brock Harvey with the 2 goals for South Bendigo. Jack O'Shaughnessy for his 3rd goal of the evening. He did it. He kicked well. 7-11 is the score. South Bendigo are still only 2 goals on their scoreboard at the moment. 2-3. Score sponsored. Don Small Goods. Is Don is good. Live 25. Local fresh footy.
He's having a terrific quarter as O'Shaughnessy, kicking goals and chasing down. He's a target for them up there, Jacko, and playing some terrific, great football, really.
Yeah, he's a likely type.
Yep.
Tell you what, this rain isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Norm's just reached across the shoulder and showed me the radar. And if you drew a diagonal line full of rain and it was coming toward Bendigo, that's exactly what the radar would be. Clearance for the Bloods here. Antonovich almost pulled that one into his chest. It's been a tough night for Caden in his return to the Queen Elizabeth Oval. Of course, he's been so good in his time here at South Bendigo. 76 goals in 2018, 69 in 2019, and Ron Best medal thrown in there as well. Premierships at White Hills and Shep Swans on the way through his footy career. He's done a lot of his best work in red and white. Clearance for the Hawks, only as far as Brereton, who tumbles it back up toward half forward. Coming up to meet it was Harvey. Crafty stuff. Now the kick inside forward 50 and sliding up to mark is Davies, who's done some good stuff so far tonight. Had a shot earlier in the game, had no troubles with the carry, and he's got a shot here of 35 metres on a slight angle to the left of centre.
That was their best work into forward 50 in a long time. They haven't been able to take many marks inside 50, but able to kick it into space. Davies run onto it.
So just played the 1 game last week so far this season, James Davies. 24 goals in 16 games at White Hills last season. See what his form's like here. Oh, it's awful. It is an awful kick in the end. He's kicked it straight to Walker, who could not have expected that was coming. He was stationed 20 metres from goal in the right forward pocket. So that has gone all kinds of wrong for James Davies. In the end, the ball's been rushed over the boundary line. It'll be thrown back into play, and that is an opportunity gone begging for the Bloods.
It's about as good as my golf form, Joel, and that form isn't very good, let me assure you. Ball's thrown back
he had
in.
the sand bucket out there for his divot, Jacko.
That's right. Chance for Miller. Close to the boundary line. Bloods hugging it. Swimming pool change rooms pocket. Umpire John Norton demands that he receive the footy, so we'll have it thrown up about 45 metres out from the Barnard Street goal. Lots up in the ruck, but no one got hands to it. Whistle blown, free kick for the Bloods across half forward. 2 kicks out from goal. High kick, it'll come in from Allen, off the right boot, top of the goal square. Hands to it was Davies. Back of the pack, Eaglehawk get hands to it first, close to the boundary line. Shepherd was attempted by Geddes. He couldn't keep the ball locked inside, attacking 50 though for the Bloods. Perhaps won't matter because they've got a wall of numbers across half forward. Haddo one of them. He gets used to the footy, then loses control of it. About 6 players surround him. Ball's locked up. Another stoppage. Ball up. Left half forward for South Bendigo.
7-11, 53 the Hawks, 2-3-15 South Bendigo, 17 gone, 3rd term. Joel Peterson, Jackson Saunders, Nathan Dole with you. Live 25, local fresh footy. John Norton pays a free kick here going the way of the Hawks, and big Braden Frost got back in from overseas only this morning. Not bad work if you can get it. Handball off to Donut, who drives it down the line. Will Allen's got his name written all over this, and the big South Bendigo swingman accepts that ball to his chest. He's at left half back in front of Bennett and in front of the Eaglehawk bench. Blasted back up along the grandstand side. Davies in the pack, 3-on-2, favoured Eaglehawk coming up with it. And fighting hard for the football there was Alex Smith. Did well. Handball back to Geddes. Kick inside the forward 50 for the Bloods. Antonovich brought it down. Russ Bridge is there as well. Lays the tackle on Walker. Not rewarded. Ball spilt loose. Bloods have the numbers. Collins out to Geddes. Got Swatton in support. Just inside forward 50. Joel Swatton's pushed off the kick. Poyser picks it up for the Bloods. Just slapped on inside that forward 50 and then slapped out of play. 45 metres out from the south goal. Left forward pocket have a ball in.
The Hawks coaching staff, they'd have to be right with their defensive play. I mean, they're 6 goals up and it's like they're playing as if it's a 1-point game at times.
All players but 2 inside South Bendigo's front half of the ground. Swatton round the body, tip of the goal square, goes past everyone and out of bounds beside the right point post. We'll have it thrown back in deep. Right forward pocket for South Bendigo. Rain continues. It is majestic if you're a farmer. It is beautiful to see for those that love the garden. It's creating havoc for the footballers though at the same time. They've just got a toe poke in soccer. Are they playing AFL or the Premier League? They've worked it from the back pocket Eaglehawk all the way up towards the defensive side of centre wing. Soccer style, just sheer numbers. No one with any touches, but just manpower. They've worked it to the swimming pool side and out of bounds. 7-11, 53 Eaglehawk. South Bendigo 2-3-15. 19 minutes gone as Frank Byrne, a Castlemaine identity, strolls by.
Ball to be tossed back in. Allen wins it down. Swatton clean off the pack, then stubbed his toe with the kick. It dribbles its way up toward half forward. Sam Thompson returns it with interest for the Hawks. Hawes up to meet it for the Borough. He can't pull it in. Then Frost is dragged to the turf. We'll have it tossed up. Hawks have been dominant so far tonight. They've controlled the game in a low-scoring affair. A margin of 5 and a bit goals could be all they need for a pretty convincing win to keep pushing that percentage along. Darling got grabbed, might have stepped on Clayton Holmes in the process, and then Tate Poyser was right there with Billy Evans, and we will have a ball up. Hawks forward half, about 70 out from the Borough goal. They lead by 38.
Frost taps it down. Nitsky reminds me of a philosopher I studied. Interesting name. Centre of the ground.
Well, who was the philosophy?
Friedrich Nietzsche.
How do you spell that?
Nitzche.
Right.
Swatton.
Reminds me of David Neitz. Let's move on.
Tell you, we're learning a lot about Jacko tonight, aren't we?
Oh, you generally do learn a lot about Jacko in the course of a broadcast, Dolly.
Well, straight up.
And Maureen. God love her.
Back to the footy. Centre wing, grandstand side. We need some padding though tonight, don't we? With all this padding that is required by the footballers too. Antonovich kick inside 50 after it's Jack Fallon. Has support. He follows up Fallon. He soccers and goal of the night.
Yep.
Incredible. Just to paint the picture once more, he was about 10 metres away from the goal line, hard up against the boundary line. He socketed it to Jack Fallon off the left in the wet conditions. Didn't pick up the footy, and the Bloods have their third major of the evening. 3-3-21. Eaglehawk 7-11-53. 21 minutes gone. Third term. Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers.
Their first score in a long time since Harvey in the second quarter.
Yeah,
so
28-minute mark.
Yeah, 28 minutes. So, yeah, reward for effort.
Jack Fallon, 4 goals on the season now. Kicked a sealer in round 1 against Strathfield. Say maybe the Bloods are just putting something together because Nitschke's come bursting out of the middle. Kick inside the forward 50. Davies ran past it. Scrambling defence again for Eaglehawk. They've been resolute back there so far tonight. Free kick paid by John Norton. Which way is this going? Looks like it's going to Jack Donut, who's been terrific tonight for the Hawks. His ball use and composure back there has been extremely valuable. And he directs some traffic before he lets this kick go on that outer side. Hawks by 32. 22 minutes gone, third term. Live 25, local fresh footy. Frost in the middle of the ground, just keeps it moving, and then it's hacked forward off the ground inside forward 50 for the Borough. Holmes and Tate Poyser in just a face-up wrestle. Holmes soccers it off the ground. It's a foot race back there, and it's soccered through on the line by Ty Evans, who burnt them all on the way back to goal and rolled drilled one through in response for the Hawks. 8:11:59 to 3:3:21. They are not giving a sucker an even break tonight. Back to that 38-point lead for Eaglehawk. Score sponsor Jason Westcott Builder, and that was classic Borough footy, Dolly.
It was, and Clayton Holmes, we talked about him earlier, about being the forward line. He just competes, and yeah, he sets an example for the rest of them. Being a co-coach is, well, I'll show you, and you do this as well. And yeah, Ty Evans, he probably should have been at Central Park the other day. Jacko, the way he moved then, charging down at Stall.
Absolutely. Gout got knocked off, didn't he, in an epic display by a school teacher.
The guy who won, he wasn't his name Evans, was it Jack Evans?
Jack Evans,
the guy
that's
who
it.
won?
Yep.
His
Close.
students would have been thrilled at school. I dare say they'll be trying to knock him off in the classroom.
Outrun him in the outrun him in the playground.
That's right. Ball's thrown up. Frost. Far from frosty conditions this evening. Here's Miller.
Matter of time, that one.
That's true. It will come. We'll get back to the footy. Kick inside 50 for Eaglehawk. Front position. Lurking is Ango. He gets the footy now. Has support. Evans. Right foot kick. Up towards the tip of the goal square. Off hands. Defensively, Tom Brereton does well. Loops it over the top. They've got support and numbers. It comes to Brooks. Across half back to centre wing. Grandstand side. Terrific spoil by Eaglehawks O'Brien. Ball spills out to centre wing for Davies for the Bloods. He's tackled. Evans superb. Very close to the boundary line. Umpire lets it go until Jack O'Shaughnessy was taken out right in front of the interchange gates. 59 plays 21. 38 points is the lead to Eaglehawk.
Trying to go to 3 and zip on this young season, the Borough. They came in top of the table. South Bendigo 2 and zip as well coming into tonight. Big uphill battle for them late in this one. Zimmerman soccers it off the ground. Sam Thompson had it ricochet off his boot over the line. It'll be thrown back in. They still look a genuine forward target short, Dolly, the Bloods.
Yeah, they do. Yep.
You know, tough night to really assess exactly where they're at necessarily, but the entries to Antonovich just haven't been there, then it gets to be pretty tough going. And at the other end, the marking options have helped Eaglehawk. Donut tries to barrel one up toward half forward for the Borough. Again, O'Shaughnessy's busy, grabs Davis when he didn't have it, according to John Norton. And so big Alex Davis will take the free kick across half back. Comes out to Swatton, who's taken a mile off the mark there, and Braden Frost was pleading his case. Swatton's kicked down the line, bounces over the back. Davies can't keep it in at the junction of the 50 in the boundary. Left half forward for South Bendigo. Will have it tossed back in. 8:11:59 the Borough, 3:3:21 the Bloods. 25 and a half gone. Third term, Live 25, local fresh footy.
Wonderful geographical analysis by Joel Peterson there in his call. As the ball's thrown back in, Collins gets first use of it. Deep inside 50 for the Bloods. 20 metres out from goal. Eaglehawk with defensive numbers do well. It comes to Bennett, who's got it, and he just takes a moment to pause. It's rare actually that there's been marks this evening, because like then, Brereton dropped the sitter. The slippery conditions making the pill difficult to collect. Across half back, Eaglehawk work it through numbers to centre wing. Kick came from Bennett inside 50 over the heads of numbers of players, including Hoare. Close to the boundary line, still in play. O'Shaughnessy out of bounds she goes. Boundary throw in right forward pocket. City end for the two Blues. 8:11 plays 3-3, 27 minutes almost gone in this third term.
Thrown back in the Lee Coughlin pocket. Chris works his way to front spot. Good sliding tackle. No, not a good sliding tackle. Jack Thompson was a little bit overzealous and grabbed Luke Darling high. Free kick to the first year Bloods defender. Last played in 2022 with Big Mac Cameron at Monash in the Ammos. Return to the action for the Bloods. Kicks outside the defensive 50. No mark taken. Holmes was waiting out the back of it. O'Brien couldn't collect it either, and in front of the Eaglehawk interchange will have it thrown back in. Both sides, a player down on the bench tonight. No Zayden Lockwood, who went off early injured, and no Cam McGlashan for the Borough here in this second half. So we hope all the best for them from the stoppage. Swatton in the middle of the ground. Bangs bodies with Hoare, who flicked it up somehow. Didn't look like it was legal. Anyway, the umpire lets them play it. Rolls its way up toward half forward for the Borough. Picked up by Angove. His eyes light up. Kicks deep. It slides. It bounces. It rolls into the right-hand goal post. He kicked one last week, Angove. He's not a big goal kicker. That one goes amiss. The margin 39 the way of the Hawks. They waste no time, the Bloods.
And receives the kick in from Davis up to centre wing. Mark taken by Geddes. May have been touched off the boot. Umpire said no, it didn't matter. It was dropped by Eaglehawks O'Brien. Cross half back. Haddo gets it back. Hand pass goes astray. Lurking out to centre wing. Geddes gets the ball. Loses it. Goes to ground. The Borough with numbers. Get it along the squirming turf up towards centre wing. Crisp got in the front position for the Bloods. Helped to work it out of bounds. And we'll have another boundary throw in true centre wing position. It's happened numerous occasions this evening. 29 minutes almost ticked by in this third term. Live 25, local fresh footy, front position. Crisp got there. Tackling is good. It's fierce. It's tight. It's scrappy. Evans is good. He finds a way, navigates out of the congestion to half forward. Lurking ball. Chance for Thompson off the Jack variety, but it'll be intercepted and the Bloods across half back clear.
Oh, kick straight back into danger through the hands of Billy Evans. Picked up by Jesse Collins as the three-quarter time siren rings out here at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. And Eaglehawk able to build their advantage in that third term. They kicked 3 goals to 1 after doing the same in the second quarter. And we turn for home with the Borough up by 39 points, a margin which is as big as it has been in the ball game. 8-12-60 Eaglehawk to 3-3-21 of South Bendigo. The Borough looking a good bet to make it 3-0 on this young season. Final quarter after the other side of this. Stay with us. Live 25, local fresh footy.
When it comes to reducing pain and rebuilding strength, Keyser leaves nothing to chance. Our university-qualified health professionals don't just treat problem areas, they design personalised training programs using Swiss-engineered machines unique to Keyser. These machines safely isolate the affected area, test your strength, and help rebuild your muscles for a stronger and healthier life. Keyser, physiotherapy, rehabilitation, and strength training, building strength with precision.
It's the Bendigo Football Netball League top 5 for round 2. Let's get the party started with number 1, Jack Thompson here from Eaglehawk. Just on the outside of the pack, a beautiful hand pass to find him, and an even better snap to seal the deal. Number 2, it's Tom Strauch here from Golden Square. A tough one this, a bit of a chaos ball in the forward 50. He doesn't give up, sticks out the shoe and dribbles it home.
Came from nowhere, the ball was bobbing around in the goal square, he just threw a boot at it and popped it through.
Number 3, Zach Bolger here from Eaglehawk. Just a lovely little checkie from the boundary line. Oh yeah. Number 4, it's the fast-moving South Bendigo here. Great work in the contest. Out on the outside to Brady Haddo, who goes on the outside of the shoe and threads it home. And number 5, it's the long bomb from Ryanair from Castlemaine. 55 from home. There it is. Great goal.
50 by Ryanair.
Has got 3 singles for the Borough. To Billy Evans, to Cam McGlashan, to Jonty Neves, to Clayton Holmes, and to Ty Evans. For the Bloods, Brock Harvey kicked 1 in the first, 1 in the second. Jack Fallon with their lone goal in the third quarter. Jackson, who's impressed you for the Hawks?
Well, Evans again. Billy Evans has been a standout. Jack O'Shannessy has been terrific throughout the game. Bennett has been good. Nick Thompson as well. They're the standouts so far.
And Dolly for the Bloods?
Yeah, I thought that quarter, Poyser, Crisp, I think is still competing really well. Fallon moving forward gave him a little bit, and I thought Antonovich did some good things that quarter as well.
Okay, there's a bit of a development here to start this final term as the Bloods move it forward out of the middle. Fallon might have been chucked forward as well. So they're throwing the magnets around South Bendigo. Dylan Hanley, who's been terrific tonight, bangs it back the other way for Eaglehawk. So Zayden Lockwood is back out on the ground after leaving the facility. I don't know quite how that works. Davis has got caught with the footy for the Bloods meantime.
Yeah.
So he left the ground.
Yep.
And he's now back at the venue and back in the game, which is really, you don't see that all that often.
No.
Mullen kicks inside forward 50 for the Hawks, comes ricocheting back out. Ben Thompson to Angove, missed his boot. And Zach Eyre ensures he doesn't do the same. Cracks it back the other way, straight to the opposite 21 in Frost.
Frost, he'll kick off the left boot. Hardly. Went about 10 metres forward, if that. Ricocheted out to Walker. He goes looking for Ty Evans. Could have been. Frost again lurks, comes though, stolen by South Bendigo. Collins up to centre half forward. Antonovich wanted it, opposed gallantly by Hanley. It's across half back for the Borough. They managed to lock it up. A good result and a ball up. So Eaglehawk have been terrific this evening. It'd be great to see South Bendigo get some more goals in this last term. But the effort from both sides and the wet conditions has been wonderful to see. And that is text-back football. Straight to Nitsky, who slides forward. And he runs into the goal and kicks it for a major. It was tapped forward to him beautifully from the ruck contest. He found himself in space and slotted it through for a major. 8-12, Eaglehawk. South Bendigo 4-3. 2 minutes gone. Score sponsor, Bendigo City. Framers Live 25, local fresh footy.
Yeah. Again, it's just roving contests, and we've seen a couple of them tonight, Jackson, where, whether it be a ruck contest or spillage off a marking duel, and well done by Nitschke. I thought his second half's been really good so far.
That was clean, Dolly.
It
That
was.
was very, very clean.
Yep.
From Josh Nitschke. It's a little bit of a glimpse of what might be to come for the rest of the season, and they've got some ascendancy here at the moment. Haddo gets the clearance for the Bloods. Bouncing kick up through the hands of Dylan Hanley. Fallon made something happen. Toe pokes it off the left boot inside the forward 50. Ty Evans got flattened off the footy.
Yep.
That's a free kick every day of the week.
Yep.
Nitschke that time was coming in a little bit too hot, and Evans, who's been terrific tonight, he and Billy. Kick almost went in the direction of Billy, but Haddo cut it off. Another one that stubbed their toe on the way out. Brody Haddo looks for the options. Of course, Bendigo Interleague representative last season. Kicks into the forward pocket through the hands of Allen. Aidan Hanley right there with Antonovich. And it'll be thrown back in. Right forward pocket, Bloods into attack, margin 33. South need to kick 6 goals from here, having kicked 4.5 for the game.
Certainly a challenge of mammoth proportions. Thrown back in, Collins got hands to it first. Front position for Eaglehawk is Jack O'Shaughnessy. Neither side is able to elude with the football. So ball up as a result. Frost taps it down delightfully.
Yep, in the back.
Free kick for a push in the back. So it's going the way of South Bendigo. Huge cheer from the grandstand. Perhaps a sideshow entertainment going on up there.
Or just a lot of Jesse Collins fans.
Very much so. And Jesse is the man who has got that footy. It'd be great to see him kick this goal. It just gives South Bendigo and the crowd, I sense, a massive lift. Collins starts right. Will it stay right? Works its way back. Good to see. 5-3-33. Eaglehawk 8-12-60. It's back to within 27 points.
Yep.
That gives them a bit of hope. Thanks to our score sponsor, Don Smallgoods. Is Don, is good. 8-12-60 Eaglehawk. South Bendigo 5-3-33.
Taking them so long to score a goal, and then they've got 2 in 4 and a bit minutes. So
first time they kick back-to-back goals in the ball game as well, the Bloods.
Yep, that's right.
So who knows, hey? Who knows? They need to keep winning clearances, that's for sure. Eaglehawk take this one away, but Brereton's there at half-back, cuts it off, dashes across the defensive 50, bangs it back the other way. Allen was up to meet it. Doing some good defensive work was Bolger. Had one go, got dumped, had another go, got dumped again by Nitschke. And this time Fallon pushes Hanley out toward the boundary line, and there's just a little bit of urgency among the South Bendigo players and supporters. Yep. You can feel that things have lifted in the last little while. They've got somewhat of a sniff, albeit a very faint and distant one. Lockwood forces his way back to the front of the contest. He's wrapped up. And we'll have another ball up in front of the Eaglehawk bench and us. 27 points the margin. Hawks still in charge.
Lockwood takes it down. He follows up with a good shepherd to create some space for Haddo to send it to half forward Jake Rusbridge. Ball was fisted away from him by Lachlan Walker. Boundary throw-in is the result. 6 minutes tick by in this last term. 27 points is the lead to Eaglehawk, but South Bendigo have kicked the last 2 goals. You can sense that the crowd is further engaged in this contest too. Lockwood went after it, but the crowd said ball as he was tackled beautifully by Eaglehawk Sam Thompson.
Final score in the North Central Footy League. Charlton over St Arnaud by 9 points. 6-8 to 5-5 the final score there. Long kick up the line taken beautifully off the pack by O'Shaughnessy. Curls the kick inside forward 50. Neves couldn't take it. Miller was there for the Bloods. Rides a bump. Pushed out toward the boundary line. Kick around the body. Straight back to Kennedy for the Hawks. Oh, Ben Thompson got thumped. Terrific tackle from Lockwood. Brought him down, and then Davis has just kicked it over the boundary line and out of bounds on the full. He was a little bit off balance there, Alex Davis, and couldn't square up to kick it along the boundary line. And the Hawks will wait for it to come back in, and it'll be Tom Bennett who will take the free kick. 55 from home at left half forward. Rolls around onto his right boot, chisels a kick to the pocket. Neves is up, 2 hands extended, couldn't mark. Hair blasted out of the area. Zimmerman can't mark. He had Thompson draped across the shoulder. It'll be thrown back in inside the forward 50 for Eaglehawk.
Chisels and air blasts, 2 new words for my footy commentary toolbox that I haven't come across before. Beautifully done, Joel, on Live 25 local fresh footy. Across left half forward for Eaglehawk. Holmes' kick smothered. Across half back, South Bendigo attempt to defend. Angove across half forward 2 now. Whistle blown Free kick picked out across half back. It goes the way of the Bloods. Harvey. That was an audacious ball. Up to centre half forward, almost chopped off by Eaglehawk in their front half of the ground, only about 60 metres out from home. Stoppage evolved. They're lucky to get away with that, South Bendigo.
Absolutely. Good to see Cam McGlashan just emerging from the Eaglehawk rooms as well. So it's taken him a while, but he is back on his feet and just heading to the car. So on to the good people in footy is Cam McGlashan. Hoping all the best for him. Bloods with a free kick here. Lockwood at centre half back. Talented player playing as a 19-year-old with the Pioneers this year. Chips it short to his co-coach in Fallon. Jack Fallon. He rolls on and kicks on that left boot up toward half forward. Haddo brings it down for the Bloods. Can they force the footy forward here? Smith had a go by hand. Couldn't find a target on the end of it. Standing start stuff. High kick inside the forward 50. Antonovich back spot. Couldn't force his way to the front. Clearing the danger area was Hanley for the Bloods. A bouncing ball. Tumbles its way up toward the grandstand side wing. Neves sets out after it. Picked up by Lockwood of South Bendigo. Wants to send it back the other way. All the Borough inside defensive 50. Oh, that was messy. Luckily not to be paid a throw in the end against Aidan Hanley. He scooped it out toward the boundary line. It goes over and out for a throw in, but they narrowly avoided disaster there.
That was a throw when I played.
Score unchanged the last few minutes. South still trail by 27 points, but you sense they're coming in this last term. Clash of bodies is admirable. They're going hard at it. No exception, Tom Brereton.
I could watch Tom Brereton play footy all day, Dolly.
He's great, isn't he?
He's a ripper.
Yep.
Joel Mullen hit him hard, but there was nothing malicious about it. It was just two guys having a fair dinkum crack, to use some good old Aussie slang. Ball thrown back in, another stoppage ball up.
Two guys I would like to see play interleague footy this year, Dolly. Tom Brereton and Joel Mullen.
Yeah,
I reckon they do a really good job here at the QEO against the Baffa in the middle of the year.
Yep.
Jesse Collins out of the stoppage for the Bloods. Curls it forward. Two hands to it. Antonovich towing the behind line. He tried to trip the light fantastic and make something happen there. But even the dancing feet of Caden Antonovich couldn't quite work it out. He slides into the fence and sees a score go through. It's only a minor one. That lead of Eaglehawk is 26 points, 10 gone, final term.
Donuts kicking went about 70 metres in the wet conditions. That is miraculous. You'd have to say Swatton helps to intercept for South Bendigo. They send it inside their front half of the ground. It's about 60 metres out from goal, over the head of the intended target, Rusbridge, and out of bounds, aided by the spoil from Zach Bolger. We'll have it thrown back in right in front of our broadcast position. Nathan Dole on Live 25 local.
Bloods are doing plenty of attacking. I liked how they've lifted their pressure. They're doing really well so far.
In the ruck contest, Billy Evans, and comes to ground. Ball up once more. Joel Mallon in the thick of it there. In the ruck is Braden Frost. Taps it down. Joel Swatton. I've been impressed by his development as a football, observing him tonight. Collins, kick, intercepted. In defence, Eaglehawk will look to recreate a new passage of play from the city end.
And the kicks up the line. It's all the Bloods. Brereton has had not quite the required height, but was able to do enough to force it into the Eaglehawk bench. She'll be thrown back into play. 8-12-60 the Borough. 5-4-34 the Bloods. Eaglehawk looking to go 3 and zip on this young season. So is South, but they will need a miracle from here in these sodden conditions at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. Mullen came out of the stoppage in reverse, tumbled the kick down the line toward Neves, who stops and props on the boundary line. Needed to get rid of it, he was too slow, and he got slung to the turf by Luke Darling. Darling wins the free kick for the Bloods, and it's one of many acts that are going to have to go right over the course of the remaining 18 minutes in this ball game. Long kick up the line through the hands of Nishki. Haddo had it and lost it. Kicked it out of bounds on the full. And it'll be brought back into play by the impressive Lockie Walker from in front of the Eaglehawk bench.
They're certainly doing a few things right though, Joel. South Bendigo Eaglehawk have not scored. 12 minutes gone in this term. Kick by Lachlan Walker to half forward. Jesse Collins gets in the way, helps to effect the spoil. After it is Alex Davis. Umpire is patient. Rusbridge there. Evans, Billy Evans picks it up, kicks it toward the pocket for Eaglehawk. Ball will come back out. It's across the goal line now for the Borough. 25 metres out from goal. Snap around the body is across the face and just a behind from O'Brien. So that's their first score in this last term. 8-13, South Bendigo 5-4, 13 minutes gone last term.
Go down the middle. Don't worry about kicking in the pocket, just get it down the middle.
Yep, does Miller. Does exactly that. He heeds your advice, Nathan Dole, and he kicks it to a vacant spot, so it'll bounce in front of all the players rushing over there. Frost threw a boot at it, ricocheted back in his direction. Picked up by Thompson, off to Mullen. Mullen kicks to full forward. Miller gets his fist through it, out toward the boundary line, and it hits the left hand behind post and will be tossed back into play. So deep forward for Eaglehawk up at that Barnard Street end. They have led from wire to wire so far. The Borough have not been headed by South Bendigo at any stage. The margin got out to as many as 39. It now sits at 27.
Ruck contest, snap, well, kick was smothered by Ben Thompson. Goes to the goal line, off our heads, it's been socket. Didn't quite see who it was. Amid all that congestion, so many around the contest.
Might have been Ben Thompson, I reckon.
I think you're right, Joel. Thank you for that. So Ben Thompson for Eaglehawk, 9-13. They didn't need that, South Bendigo. South 5-4. 14 minutes gone in this last term. Score sponsor, Jason Westcott Builder, Live 25, local fresh footy.
Yeah, that's probably their third or fourth goal where they've just been in the right spot at the right time. You know, the ball's fallen their way, and another socket goal for the Borough.
So that margin back out to 34 points, and Thompson comes straight off for a break. Hawks with the clearance again. Neves through his hands. Fell to Hall. Off to O'Shannessy. Left foot kick across the body, lining up a fourth. I reckon he's got 3-3 tonight.
Yep.
Jack O'Shannessy has been busy up front for the Hawks.
He's a live wire, isn't he? He's great to watch.
Yeah, he's good at ground level and good in the air as well. 34 points the margin. 15 paid in the final term. Score sponsor, Aussie Disposals. Live 25, a local fresh footy.
Isaiah Miller opts to play on. He'll go swimming pool side with the kick in, about 60 metres. And it's been intercepted by Braden Frost. I've really liked his game this evening. Has support. They hug the boundary line to work it towards centre half forward. Chance Beck and snap around the body. It's deep in attack for the Borough, about 20 metres from goal. Ball up again, and we'll have it thrown up. 5-4-34, plays 9 goals, 14. 16 minutes gone, last term, Live 25, local fresh footy.
Looks like it'll continue a good run of form for the Borough against the Bloods. Neves takes it out of the ruck and he misses. We've seen him do that to good effect so far tonight. That margin is back out to 36. So it'll be the 6th straight win for Eaglehawk over South Bendigo. Bloods haven't beaten the Borough since round 12 2022. They met here, of course, in an elimination final in 2023. Last couple of years it's been all Eaglehawk over South, and that looks like it's going to continue tonight. South Bendigo next week have got Castlemaine down at the camp, which is no easy assignment. And Eaglehawk have got Gisborne out at Canterbury Park, which should be a terrific contest. The Bloods just hack it forward here. It's picked up across half-back by Nick Thompson of Eaglehawk, who's been good on senior debut. Sliding across the line is Sam Thompson. Ball to be thrown back in right in front of us. It is the Hawks by 35. We've played 17 in the last on Live Fresh Footy.
Lockwood in the ruck contest v Frost. Frost taps it down. After it is Max Kennedy. He's tackled, ball up. Centre wing, grandstand side. Lockwood and Frost. Frost knocks it down. Kick was smothered off the boot from Collins. Applying tremendous pressure, Nick Thompson. Ball spills out, back to Frost. Off the left boot. Hurried ball to half forward. Defensively, Brereton gutsy, put his head over the football, not once but twice, and has been rewarded for his efforts. Tom Brereton take a bow. That would be very pleasing for South Bendigo. Brereton's kick, though, ineffective. Frost got in the way. Zimmerman also there for South Bendigo. Umpire could have paid a free, opted not to. The Borough with the clearance around the body. Max Kennedy, search and kick, hoping to find someone across half forward. Unable to do so. South, though, will get it back. They'll clear up towards centre wing. Not for long, though. It's stolen by Jonty Neves to the Borough.
Yeah, Brereton put it right down his throat. Jonty Neves out there in the shooting sleeve. Don't see that often in footy, Dolly.
No.
More likely to see that up at the Bendigo Stadium with the Braves going around.
That's right. Yep.
Billy Evans, handball over the top to Walker, onto Kennedy. The Coburg teammates link up. Kennedy's low kick inside forward 50. O'Shaughnessy's there. Miller goes over the top of him. Davis fights for the footy. O'Shaughnessy looks like he's a little bit worse for wear as well. Actually, he might just be going down with cramp. He's reaching up with that left leg to try and get that ironed out. Lockwood at half-back. Walker got rid of Swatton. It all opened up for Ty Evans, who had the goal at his mercy, but the kick skewed off the side of his boots. And it goes out of play in that right forward pocket. That looks like an awful cramp. Young Jack O'Shaughnessy's got in that left forward pocket. He can hardly move. Meanwhile, ball will be tossed back in right forward pocket. Hawks in attack up by 35.
Almost 6 goals their advantage. Ball thrown back in. Frost has been terrific. Lockwood, no one got clean hands to it. Ground level for the Bloods. It was Nitsky who went after it. Close to the boundary line. They hugged the pocket to the Borough. O'Shaughnessy over and out again. Boundary throwing 20 metres out. 9:15. 69 plays 5-4-34. 35 points the advantage. 19 minutes gone. Live 25 local fresh footy. Frost took it out of the rack. He could have been pinned there for holding the ball. He tried to take clean disposal. Umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt. Ball spilt out. About a dozen surrounding the footy. It was locked up and a ball up.
Free kick off the footy here or blood rule? I think that's the latter of those two.
A blood rule.
Who's coming off the ground? One Clayton Holmes, who's got some claret flowing. So the Eaglehawk co-coach, who's going to go 3 and zip to start his coaching career. Of course, working in conjunction with Trav Matheson, puts the towel to the back of the head where he's got the opening. Zach Hare off the stoppage for the Bloods, spins his way through, clearing kick, out toward Harvey, got barreled over by Billy Evans, picked up by Walker. He shoots it back toward full forward. It's off hands. Ben Thompson can't keep it in play. It'll be thrown back in left forward pocket. Hawks still deep in attack at that Barnard Street end. 20 and a half minutes gone. Have you been surprised? Have you been impressed by what you've seen from Eaglehawk tonight, Dolly?
I've been impressed by Eaglehawk. Yep. South have worked really hard, but Eaglehawk, just the way they've gone about it, their work rate, and they've had plenty of contributors.
They're only 10 metres away from goal until Lockwood spoiled the day for the Borough and clears for South Bendigo.
He's had a good 20 minutes, hasn't he, for a guy who's away from the game for a long time.
Yeah, we pensioned him off.
Yeah, he came back probably early in the third quarter, probably did a bit of a warm-up in the rooms as such, but he's done all right, the young fella, since he came back on.
The rain, I feel, is gaining ascendancy too as we approach the final part of this last term. We have become meteorologists this evening too, as well as football commentators. Kick deep inside 50, little toe poke from Hoare across the face though, and out of bounds in the left forward pocket for the Borough.
So what you're trying to say is the precipitation is intensifying?
Correct.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'm from North Bendigo. I've got no idea what you're talking about. Hey.
The North Bendigo thesaurus, I think, was 6 pages long back in the day.
No, it was 7.
Ball thrown back in. Frost has a go. It's just belted forward by Hoare. Oh, gee, Will Allen's had a fair old play at that, and then Marcus Angove has kicked it out of bounds on the full from the goal line. He's done the old Cameron Ling. He was standing just about in the goal square, and he's kicked it into the pool. Out of bounds on the full. I said earlier he's not a noted goal kicker. Well, too right. Good grief.
He works hard though.
Oh, absolutely he does.
Eaglehawk have got a few of them guys that are just really hard at the contest.
Well, he works too hard to be mucking it up like that when he gets the chance.
Yeah, he'd like to have that again.
And the old-fashioned torpedo struggling to see through this rain, but it's beautiful to see. Tate Poyser almost had it, and it's gone out of bounds, so we'll have a boundary throw-in. Heaps of rain. Looking forward to inspecting the rain gauge in the morning. Lockwood. Well, it's been a while since I've had the pleasure of doing so.
Hasn't been much point.
That's right. Kick around the body.
Yep, still empty.
Inside 50. Well, not now. There's been buckets of rain this evening. Ball spills out. Chance for Neves. Flying shot, a goal across the face. And only a behind. And all of a sudden, their scoring shots climb up to 25 compared to 9. It's a 36-point lead to the Borough.
Jonty Neves has been impressive as that sort of main forward target. I wondered how that was going to work this year, but looks like a nice recipe for the Hawks. Poise up around the body, up on the grandstand side wing. Walker sends it back the other way with interest. Swan met solidly in a tackle by Angove and Ben Thompson. And we'll have it thrown back into play. I reckon we've done pretty well tonight, navigating the 2 Evanses, the 2 Hanleys, and the 4 Thompsons out there. Been a little bit of a struggle at times to tell them apart in these sodden conditions. Billy Evans gives away a free kick there. Zayden Lockwood will take it. Call him Lazarus. He kicks down the line. Dylan Hanley is able to kill that contest right in front of us. It'll be thrown back into play as Trav Matheson spins that footy in his hands that he's always got, the Eaglehawk co-coach. He'll be pretty happy with his team's work tonight. 9-16-70 the Hawks, South 5-4-34, 24 gone, final term.
Jonty Neves in the front position in that ruck contest. Zach Bolger, the Borough, helps to get it to centre wing. Chasing it is Jack Thompson. He has the footy, then loses it. Joel Mallon. South Bendigo the repel toward Joel Swatton, out of bounds. Boundary throw-in.
From what you've seen of Eaglehawk, Dolly, are they premiership contender level good, or do you need to see a bit more?
I'd like to see a bit more, but I think the way they move the ball, the way they work well together, they're going to trouble every team they come up against.
Lockwood by hand, Zimmerman. Oh, it just spilled out, didn't it? It looks like it was plucked by Alex Smith, and then at the last moment it just disappeared. But such a almost conditions.
He looked like he needed it as he was running, and his knee came up to take the stride. He sort of needed out of play.
Yep.
That's been the night for South Bendigo tonight, emblematic of what's happened. Ball tossed back in, skids after it hits the waterlogged turf. Joel Swatton, who's been right at the thick of the coalface for South Bendigo. It's tossed up. Neves tries to slap it out in ruck. Inside forward 50 now for the Bloods. Lockwood, he turns tackler. We'll have another ball up. It's been willing, it's been taxing. It's been all Eaglehawk tonight at the Queen Elizabeth Oval on Anzac Day. They are going to head back over the bridge with a 3rd straight win to start the season and set up a date with Gisborne at famous Canterbury Park next Saturday afternoon. They surge it forward here late, trying to buy a late one, Eaglehawk. Holmes inside forward 50, picks it up, right foot snap, misses. 37 points the margin. Too shy of the biggest lead of the game, but it is going to be a decisive result in the favour of Eaglehawk.
Isaiah Miller contemplates various possibilities and goes to half-back, swimming pool side. No one is able to complete the grab from the marking contest. Ball hits the deck, and we'll have a ball up. Rain continues to fall. Queen Elizabeth Oval. Friday night footy on this Anzac Day. Ben Thompson evades traffic, feeds the hand pass, but it goes astray to no one in particular. And field umpire John Norton says, I've had enough of this. Eaglehawk player at the bottom of the pack has been pinned for holding the ball. Brody Haddo in the long sleeves has it across half-back.
3-time Bloods best and fairest. Kicks long down the line. Reaching up powerfully was Crisp. Couldn't pull in the mark. Hayden Hanley Gave the handball away. Walker lost the run at the footy. Lockwood to Antonovich, who really hasn't seen much of it, so he butters up with a second possession for good measure. Curls the kick inside the forward 50. Chasing out toward the boundary line is Donut. Clever little handball to keep it in play to Sam Thompson, and that's a really well-measured kick to Joel Mullen. Couple of premiership players for the Hawks getting it done at the back end of this ball game. 37 points is Eaglehawks lead. 27.5 gone final term. Live fresh footy.
Joel Mullen hugs the boundary line with the kick, but finds Alex Davis. If I was playing now, I reckon I'd be keen for a hot shower and a nice warm bowl of soup. Kick up towards half forward.
Fair enough.
Well, very nice.
I completely agree. I don't need to play to think that. I'm happy with it regardless.
He's smothered. His kick, Dylan Hanley. Ben Thompson up to centre wing. Swimming pool side. We're only moments away from the siren now, surely, as the ball's gone into dispute on that outer side.
What type of soup?
And we'll have a ball up. Pumpkin soup is my favourite.
Dolly?
Second would be chicken soup.
I didn't ask for two. Dolly?
Yeah, chicken for me, thank you.
You want to give me a second and a third favourite as well? Just one will do, thank you.
One will do.
Here's Miller at half back. It's going to be a free kick, and it is going to Isaiah Miller. Interleague representative as well last season.
Yep.
Multiple time, of course. He did it in his first tenure at the Bloods as well. Spent a couple of years at Rochi, now back in South Bendigo colours. Kicks up the boundary line. Lockwood slides in. He can't take it. And it will be thrown back into play. They led by 10 points at quarter time. Eaglehawk 23 at half time, 32 at three-quarter time. They lead by 37 in the closing stages here. 29 minutes played in the final term. 9:17.71 to 5:4.34. They'll go to 3 and zip with a monstrous percentage ahead of a clash with Gisborne next week, the Hawks. South will be 2 and 1 as they face Castlemaine at the camp.
Holmes in that ruck contest. He tapped it down, then he tried to get boot to ball, but was dispossessed. Comes out. Chance for the Borough. Inside 50 with a kick. Mark has been taken right on the paint of 50, I reckon. So, chance to go back and have a shot for goal. It's Sam Thompson. This would test him. I think it's beyond him.
Just about kick after the siren here, Jacko.
It'll be awfully close, Joel.
Big day of footy tomorrow as well. Golden Square Sandhurst, our match for broadcast here on Live 25. That's from 1:30 tomorrow.
Sam Thompson, 55. It'll fall about 25 metres shy. Went about 30 high.
That's 55 metre kick.
That's right, bet it. His kick. Holmes. It's centre half ball up, siren sounds. Full time. Eaglehawk prevailed. 9:17.71 to South Bendigo, 5:4.34.
So 37 points, the margin of victory for Eaglehawk, who stay perfect in this young season. And they loom as a challenger to the big dogs in 2025. Maybe after being around the mark for quite a few years, this is the year we need to be taking Eaglehawk that a little bit more seriously. And for South Bendigo, after two really impressive wins to start the season, maybe they just aren't quite on the pace of some of the others in 2025. But there's so much to be played out throughout this 2025 campaign. It is going to be a fascinating one in Bendigo footy. With you for a couple more moments as we wrap up here at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. Final score again, 9:17.71 to 5:4.34. A 37-point win to Eaglehawk. South Bendigo won the early two games of footy today. And in the A-grade netball, a 47 apiece draw between the two Blues and the Bloods. 3 goals to Jack O'Shaughnessy in the finish. Billy Evans kicked a goal, Cam McGlashan kicked a goal, Jonty Neves kicked a goal, so too Clayton Holmes, Ty Evans and Ben Thompson kicked one in the final term. For the Bloods, Brock Harvey kicked 2, Josh Nitschke kicked quite a brilliant goal in that final quarter, Jack Fallon kicked one in the third, and Jesse Collins was able to steer a set shot home. That gave them a little bit of life early in that final term, but it petered out, and it was a convincing win to Eaglehawk in the end. I'll start with the better players for the Bloods from you, Nathan Dole.
I thought Tom Barrett across 4 quarters was terrific. Jack Fallon, I thought he played really well. Callum Crisp, he went forward in the last quarter, but I thought across the opening 3 quarters he did most of the ruck work against Braden Frost. It was a great contest between them. Joel Swatton, I thought Alex Davis did some good things, and special mention to Zayden Lockwood, who of course missed a lot of the game, went away for checking an injury, and then came back and put in a great last quarter. And Tate Poyser was another one. I thought down back he did some great things as well.
I don't recall too many players leaving the ground to go and get an injury assessed and then coming back coming back into the game.
Into the game, and having an impact in the game. So
quite extraordinary in the end for Zayden Lockwood. What a bizarre night. What about the Hawks, Jacko?
Well, Billy Evans was terrific. He kicked a goal through the midfield, had a lot of it. Jack O'Shaughnessy, I thought, was great across the 4 quarters of footy. 2 goals in the middle, creative, won a lot of the footy too. Jonty Neves at times really stood up. I thought Clayton Holmes battled hard at various stages too. In the ruck, I thought Braden Frost was terrific. I probably would say, just had the better of that ruck duel, but he had a lot of the football. He's athletic for his size. Ty Evans was good with a goal too, and Jack Thompson amongst my best players.
So who would you have as best on ground?
I'm inclined to go Braden Frost in the ruck.
Dolly?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I thought Frost.
I'll have Billy Evans. I'll have Billy Evans for 9 Mickelson medal votes in the first 3 rounds as well.
Well, yeah, okay. Special mention to young Jack O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah. On
a really difficult night for forwards. Those 2 chase down tackles he did, and that's the thing in footy nowadays. When you're in the forward line, it's not all about kicking goals and setting them up. It's what you do when you haven't got the ball. And he set an example for his teammates. It was great.
Yep. Great shout. Great to have Anzac Day footy back as well. A really nice tribute, and good on the South Bendigo Footy Netball Club and Eaglehawk for making it all happen. Hopefully we see more of it in years to come in the Bendigo Football Netball League.
And to all the fans who turned up.
Yep, absolutely. Really inclement conditions, but great to see so many people here at the home of country footy, the Queen Elizabeth Oval. Of course, tomorrow, a big day of footy. Kangaroo Flat and Castlemaine at Dower Park. Gisborne and Strathfield say promise.
When it comes to reducing pain and rebuilding strength, Keyser leaves nothing to chance. Our university-qualified health professionals don't just treat problem areas, they design personalised training programs using Swiss-engineered machines unique to Keyser. These machines safely isolate the affected area, test your strength, and help rebuild your muscles for a stronger and healthier life. Keyser, physiotherapy, rehabilitation, and strength training, building strength with precision.
It's the Bendigo Football Netball League top 5 for round 2. Let's get the party started with number 1, Jack Thompson here from Eaglehawk. Just on the outside of the back, a beautiful hand pass to find him, and an even better snap to seal the deal. Number 2, it's Tom Strauch here from Golden Square. A tough one this, a bit of a chaos ball in the forward 50. He doesn't give up, sticks out the shoe and dribbles it home.
Came from nowhere, the ball was bobbing around in the goal square, he just threw a boot at it and popped it through.
Number 3, Zach Bolger here from Eaglehawk. Just a lovely little checkie from the boundary line. Oh yeah. Number 4, it's the fast-moving South Bendigo here. Great work in the contest. Out on the outside to Brady Haddo, who goes on the outside of the shoe and threads it home. And number 5, it's the long bomb from Ryanair from Castlemaine. 55 from home. There it is. Great goal.
50 by Ryanair.